Okay, you want to go live? All right. All right, it's Wednesday night again. You know what I'm saying? It's that time again. So says my brother Quam, right? From the ISUPK, Officer Quam, Ottawa. It's Wednesday night again. We're always here, you know, bringing out this truth, trying to bring our brothers to the reality. You know what I'm saying? Of what things are, a lot of things happening in the world. And, you know, we're here in the ISUPK. We've joined the truth because we care about our brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's why we've joined this truth. We didn't join this truth because it's popular. We didn't join this truth because there's money involved. We didn't join this truth because we didn't join into this truth because, I don't know, because, oh, we like the clothing, right? Or because we gonna go ahead and get a tattoo, you know, with the name on it. You know, in the world, that's what we used to do. You joined something and right away you wanted to make sure that you were, you know, that people knew that you were part of that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were in some kind of hip hop group, you were gonna go out there and, you know, you were gonna tattoo the name of your group or whatever. You know, that's what you used to do. You know what I'm saying? Your license plate would become, you know, the norm of what you were doing. You know, you'd be like, oh yeah, my license plate says who I am. But nowadays, this truth, waking up our people, is the new revolution, right? That's what this is, the new revolution. Why is it called the new revolution? Because we're speaking things that shouldn't be said. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about things that are not the norm no more. Our children, if you have grandchildren, if you have kids, they're growing up into something that you would have never said in school. You would have never thought about, you know, doing this in school. You would have never thought about separating yourselves from people that you know are going to grow up to hate you. You know what I'm saying? That we're growing up different, and our kids are growing up different. Our children are going to grow up different. That's why we're in this truth. We're in this truth. We're in the ISUPK because we understand. And let me tell you something. When I say we understand, is that when you go to the ISUPK Passover, is when you really begin to understand why you're in this truth. When you go into that room and all the brothers are there that you see online every single day that are speaking truth, that are talking about Mexicans, blacks, Native American, Indians, Hispanics, and you see that these brothers are truly putting out a word, man. These brothers are showing love for your people. You know, if you're Latino, like me, I'm Hispanic, right? I grew up in LA. Man, I never thought that I was going to hear a black man talk about I'll die for a Mexican. Right. You know what I'm saying? I never thought I'd hear that. But here in the ISGPK, you got brothers who are happy to see you, man. Who tell you, man, you know what? I'm speaking up for your people. Your people are being deported today. Your families are being separated today. You know what I'm saying? They're hating on you. And you know what? I'm going to speak up about it. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Latinos like me and other Latinos in the ISUPK, and we're saying the same thing, man. We're watching these videos of black men being beaten in the street, shot in the street, killed in the street. Right. And we're thinking, man, you know, that's horrible. That's monstrous, man. That's, if that's even a word, right? But that's something that I can't handle. Seeing my people, now that I know that blacks are you know, okay, you don't want to use the word black because you think black is offensive. Okay, Negro. You ain't gonna tell me Negro is offensive because it's in the Bible. Ain't that right, Kasharwan? Right. Negro's in the Bible. If you got that precept, man, bring that precept out. Let me bring out the precept of Negro. Because a lot of people are like, well, why are you calling me Negro? Well, let me tell you why I'm calling you Negro, man, because that's an honor to be called a Negro. And I'm going to go into this precept right here because I'm going to break this precept down a little bit more than what you're used to. You got that precept? And let me tell you something. It is good to be called Negro. It is good to be called Mexican, Salvadoreño, Guatemalteco, Hondureño. chileño, man, it's good to be called that. When you start realizing the truth, you understand that these words, man, are an honor to be called. You know why? Because the Lord honors these people.
Right.
The Lord has love for these people that we used to be ashamed of. But if you understand and break it down, you'll understand that Lord loves these people. Let me go into that word Negro. You got it?
Yeah, come on.
Go ahead.
The book of Acts, chapter 13 and verse 1.
Acts chapter 13, verse 1. If you've got your Bible in hand, go ahead and open up your Bible, because we're not going to speak what we know. We're going to speak what the Bible's talking about, what the Lord is talking about, what the Most High has set as a standard. Read.
Acts chapter 13 and verse 1. Now there were in the church that was in Antioch.
Now let me tell you, there was in the church. Today you go to what is a church and you see either all white people, all black people, or all Mexican people. That's what you go when you go to a church. That's what it's like. You go to church and you see only one culture in that church. There is no, let me tell you something. I'll break it down like this. Our churches, or not my church, but the churches are segregated. That's what they are, man. They're segregated.
Right.
That's what churches are all about nowadays. Segregation. Everybody's talking about, oh, let's join together. Yeah, well, how come there's no blacks in the white church?
Right.
How come there's no whites in the black church? How come there's no blacks in the Mexican church, or in the Christian churches, in the Catholic churches? How come when you go to Catholic church mass, there's only Mexican people or white people or black people? Why is it that on Sundays, it's all whites? On Saturdays, it's all Mexicans. On Fridays, it's whatever. On Wednesdays, it's whatever. I'll tell you why, because they're segregated. But what does it say there?
Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets.
Now let me tell you something. In Antioch, which was in Greece, there was certain prophets. What's a prophet? Someone that's sent by the Lord. Continue reading.
Certain prophets and teachers.
And what?
And teachers.
And teachers. ISUPK, we're teachers. We're prophets. That's what the Lord has called us to do. He's called us out of the world and into this. He's called me out of what I used to do and into this. And let me tell you, I'm not going to pride myself in what I used to do. But I'll tell you something. If I was to tell a lot of Hispanics what I used to do, they would look at me and be like, damn, brother, you were somebody in the world. Damn, brother, you really did that? Damn, brother, you really had that? Damn, brother, you really owned that? Damn, brother, you really knew those people? They would look at me and they would wonder why I'm in this if I was doing so prosperous when I was in the world. Continue reading.
Certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas.
As Barnabas. Let me tell you something. Barnabas, he was a Benjamite. That's what Barnabas was. Barnabas was a Benjamite. If you want to look it up, and this is why I like telling people to go ahead and read, right? No. Barnabas. I'm going to bring it up. Barnabas in the KJV, right? Barnabas, if you read in the KJV and Barnabas was, man, I'm almost 100% sure that Barnabas was a Benjamite. That's what Barnabas was. If you read and you go into the history of who Barnabas was a Benjamite. That's what Barnabas was. He was a teacher, he was a prophet, and he was a Benjamite. Continue reading.
Certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simeon.
And who?
And Simeon.
And Simeon. Now Barnabas was a Benjamite. What was Simeon? Read.
That was called Niger.
That was called what?
Niger.
That was called what?
That was called Niger.
That was called Niger. What is that? Nigger. What is that? Negro. So
right.
what was Simeon? He was a Niger. Who do we understand are the Negroes? Who do we understand are the niggers? Who do we understand are those people? Those are the blacks in America. That's right. Why when they were bringing slaves over, who did they say that was for sale? Negroes were for sale. That's right. Negroes were for sale. And what was Barnabas? Read.
Like, and Lucius of Cyrene and Manaen.
And let me tell you, Lucius was from Cyrene. So where was Simeon from? What was Simeon?
And Simeon, that was called Niger.
So Simeon was a Niger. The other one was from Cyrene. And who else is on there?
And Manaen.
And who?
Manaen.
And who was he?
Which had been brought up with Herod, the tetrarch, and Saul.
So he was brought up with the tetrarch. Who?
And Saul.
But who was the tetrarch? Who was that king?
Herod.
Herod. Who was Herod? Herod was the king that was put into place into Jerusalem. He's the same person who was hunting down all the children to kill Jesus.
Right.
That's who Herod was. But what was Simeon? A Niger. He was a black man. He was most likely from the tribe of Judah, because all the Judites are Nigers. For all those people out there trying to think, oh no, prove that the Negroes are Judah, man, shouldn't that tell you who the Judites are? Shouldn't it tell you that there was a person named Niger? There was an individual named Niger, but in that same paragraph, there's a person named Barnabas. Is that what his name was? Who was a what? Who was a Benjamite. And how do you know, right? Well, all you got to do is read a little bit back, and you'll find out that it explains that this man was a Benjamite. That this man and these people that you're seeing on this paragraph are all different people with all different backgrounds. This paragraph here is explaining the background of each individual person. And Simeon was Niger. Simeon was a Judite. So let me tell you something. We're all brothers and sisters. As much as the Nigers, as much as Simeon, as much as everybody out there, man, we all brothers and sisters. Man, this is the beginning of our class. We're here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Gad Reed, Rob Mayam, Guerrero, right? Chariash, you know what I'm saying? Sama, Aparayam, Ashtar, Dalia, Felipe Mejia, Carson, Nita Israel, Aaron D, Nashak, man, Vegas McDowell, you know what I'm saying? Lahab, Travorce, Gapariyat, Rakah, man, Parker Gabar, Elohim, Samuel, Sawapayala, Mayana. Let me tell you something. Today in our time, we're speaking the language of the Hebrew. When I say welcome to everybody out here, I'm speaking it in the Hebrew. I'm using your name in the Hebrew, Tawada, for watching our show today. Man, it's an honor to be able to just say your name in the Hebrew and not say that name that we used to say. Yashakar Ban Yashakar. You know what I'm saying? That's the Hebrew name. Man, I expect everybody watching this show to get themselves a Hebrew name. Tony Gutierrez, man, Most High in Christ that you're watching, I say this, man, strive to get your Hebrew name. Strive to let go of that name that our slave masters gave us, and strive to come into this truth and grab a name that honors us. Let me tell you something. All of us watching this show, Javier, Issachar, all of us, when we were before we came into a captivity, I'm going to tell you something. Our forefathers, those that came from the bloodline of Tola, that's written in the book of Chronicles, Tola, the son of Issachar. Let me tell you something. They would give us honorable names. They would give us names that would give us honor, to express who we were, to express the fortitude that we were born with. My name is Kazak Yad, which means strong hands. It's been given to me because I do strong work. I'm always looking on how to improve, how to do better, how to bring my people into this truth. Not for myself, because it's not about me. It's about the Most High Yahweh and the Yahweh Shai, Malak, our King, that brings us to this truth. We're hearing a lot of deception out there talking about that we shouldn't be following the Judite tribes or the black tribes or anything like that. But let me tell you something. We got to understand that in our past, Cheveyo Ishakar, in our past, our ancestors, man, we were a special people. Let me tell you something. The jaguar suit, the eagle suit was not given to us just because we decided to give it to ourselves. We had to go to a school. We had to go and participate with people above us. Some of them were younger than us. But you know what? We went there as Aztecs, as Mexica, as Toltecas, as whatever tribe we might have been from. And we went out there to put honor into our names. We did the work. We grabbed our spot. We showed that we were worthy in honor, in spirit, in every aspect of our lives, that we were worthy of carrying that suit known as the eagle suit or the jaguar suit. And let me tell you something. Today in our time, let us not forget that we still carry the spirit of our ancestors. Right. And that for us, it's important as Mexicanos, Chicanos, Latinoamericanos, Salvadoreños, Guatemaltecos, Hondureños, Chilenos, Venezolanos, I don't care where you're from, right? I'm running out because I'm running it, but I don't care where you're from. It's our duty to show honor, to come into this truth. We're not going to stand here for seconds. You know what I'm saying? Remember, the Lord chooses what he's going to do. We, the man, don't choose what he's going to do. The Lord chooses what he's going to do. Throughout all history, the Lord has chosen what he's going to do. If you're carrying the word Issachar, it's because you believe in the Lord. So let me tell you something. In 1969, the Lord decided to wake up his people. Before that, there was no truth. No one knew they were Israelites. 1969, the Lord's Spirit came down on this earth and decided that he was going to bring the black, the Hispanic, the Benjamites, the Levites, and everybody together and start a school to wake up his people. And you know what that school was called? It was called the ISUPK. That's what the school was called. Do your history research and find out what that was. His name was Abba Bivens, Salakia, Abba Bivens. Abba Bivens was the man that the Lord chose to wake up a nation of people. Man, let me tell you something. I'm Latino, man. I don't settle for less, bro. I don't use the word OG for nothing. Right. OG, man, original gangsters. Isn't that what that means? Right. We ain't gonna go secondhand. We ain't gonna go do our own thing. We ain't gonna go try to find our own, way of doing things. We're gonna honor OG. That's what we're gonna honor. That's how we're gonna step up to the plate as Mexicanos, and we're gonna be like, man, I'm an OG. I'm gonna start where it started. I ain't gonna go to no secondhand. Let me tell you something. When you were in, I don't know how many of you got into gangs, right? But for those who did, I'm gonna run for those who did. For those who decided, man, I gotta be part of this clique. I gotta be part of this gang. You decided to go into, I'm gonna tell you the one I knew, right? I was gonna go into Clanton, right? C14, Clanton, West Side, So how did I do it? I went and I looked for an OG that was in the clique, in the gang. I went to look for the OG. I didn't go and start writing on a wall or start tagging myself or start doing stupid stuff. I went and looked for an OG. And I told him, hey, bro, you know what? I'm trying to get in. Right? I'm trying to get in. I'm trying to be real. I'm trying to keep it real here. I ain't trying to go invent my own. I ain't trying to start my own. I'm trying to be real. I'm trying to get it in, man. I'm trying to be in here. You know what I'm saying? I want to go places, and when they hit me up, I want to say, I know Fulanito, Sutanito, and I know all these people. I want to be in, and I want to get a name. Because you know who gave you your name? The homies gave you your name. They were gonna be like, all right, we're gonna call you, I don't know, a little puppet, right? Little Cuete, Shorty, you know, Popeye, I don't know, whatever name they were gonna give you, right? You were gonna go over there, you were gonna look for a name, and they were gonna tell you, well, in order to get this name, there's a line of fools that you gotta go through.
Right.
And these brothers right here are gonna put in work. They're gonna beat you down. And when you get to the end of the line, you're gonna prove yourself. And you're gonna earn a name.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna earn a name. You're not gonna go out there and give yourself your own name, because you know what those were called? Those are called posers, bro.
Right.
Isn't that what we call them? Wannabes? Right. Posers? What are you? You a poser? You a wannabe? What are you? I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But when you wanted to be real, you went through that line. You went through that test. And when you passed that test, you became real. When you got out, you felt that you did something to get in. You didn't just give yourself a name. You earned a name. That's why for the Lord, you gotta earn a name. Right. The ISUPK earned a name. They started when the Lord decided we're gonna start right here, and the Lord started right there. 1969, ISUPK. You know what happened? Brothers broke up. Brothers went out. Brothers started doing their own thing. Brothers started thinking, whoa, I can do my own thing, you know? They kept their name, but they went out and did their own thing. Let me tell you, the Lord ain't playing. The Lord starts something, it's to the end. He says, I am the same from the beginning to the end. He never changes. The Lord never changes. Our people should never change. Our people should be strong people. Our people should be real people, OG people. That's what Mexicans are, man. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like when you were at school, you didn't go hang out. I mean, I don't know, right? I'm saying what I remember, right? But at school, man, I didn't go hang out at what we used to call the cantina, or you know, the lunchroom. We went out to the handball courts. How come you went out to the handball courts? That's where everybody was at. That's where it was at. That's where it was happening. Handball courts, man. You find me right there, chilling. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where it was at. You know. So why would you want anything less? Go ahead.
Like I got a precept on the reason why they're out there, you know, starting their own clique or starting their own group, or you know, starting their own, giving themselves names and all that, and speaking bad about the UK.
Right,
you know
right. Hang on 1 second. Let me get you in there. All right, Shawan, you can look here too.
It's in the book of Ecclesiastes, and chapter 8 and verse 11. Right. And it reads, because sentence against evil work is not executed speedily. Meaning just because you don't get punished right away for your evil works or your evil doings, you know what I'm saying? Right? That's what it's talking about. When it says that because sentence against evil work is not executed speedily, meaning because you don't get punished right away for the evil works that you do, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Because you don't get punished for the evil work you do right away, your mindset is to do this evil, is to do evil. You get what I'm saying? And I'm gonna go to another scripture real quick, if I could, to show you what would happen if it was if you know what I'm saying, or what would happen back then, or what's gonna happen when Christ comes back. Let me tell you something. Your grace period is gonna be over. You're gonna be punished for your evil work right away. You get what I'm saying? And you can find this in the book of Numbers, right? In chapter 21, right? And verse, I'm gonna just go ahead and straight. I'm gonna go to verse 5, right? And this is after the Most High had taken the Israelites out of Egypt, right? This is what some of the Israelites said. And in Numbers number 21, in verse 5, it says, and the people spake against God, against the Most High, and against Moses. You know what I'm saying? Why did they speak against the Most High and against Moses? If the Most High had just chosen Moses to get his people out of the land of Egypt, out of being a slave. So let's see, we're gonna find out why the people, some of the Israelites, were talking bad about the Most High and about Moses, after they just took them out of slavery? We're going to find out, right? And it says, and the people spake against the Most High and against Moses. Wherefore have ye brought us out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? So they're trying to be smart mouth right there. They're trying to say, what did he bring us out of Egypt for? To die right here in the wilderness? You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to continue reading. It says, for there is no bread, and neither is there any water. You know what I'm saying? So they're complaining about how much they got to eat because they had something to eat. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't as much as they wanted. You know, after the Most High just brought them out of slavery, you know what I'm saying? Out of the land of bondman, you know what I'm saying? And verse 6 says, and the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. So what happened? That some of the Israelites were talking bad about the Most High and about Moses, which was the man who the Most High had put in charge, right? And they were talking, being a smart mouth. So what did the Most High do? He sent fiery serpents, and right. Israelites started dying. For what? For not being, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it right there. You know what I'm saying? They started dying, and they started dying for not being, you know, just glad that the Most High took them out of slavery, for speaking up against the Most High, man. You know what I'm saying? They started dying. So what did the people do? We're going to find out, right? And verse 7 says, therefore the people came to Moses. They came to Moses, right? The person who they were just talking smack about, and said, we have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against thee. So the Israelites, when their people started dying, after they had just been taken out of slavery, they went up to Moses and the Most High, and they told they went up to Moses, They went up to Moses and they told him, look, Salaki, Moses, we were speaking up against you. We were talking bad about the Most High and about you. You know what I'm saying? But our people are dying. It's like, I'm going to continue reading, right? And against thee, pray unto the Lord that he take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people. So, you know what I'm saying? So after they knew, it's like after their people started dying, they knew to go up to the man in charge and to ask him for forgiveness, to ask him to pray for us, you know, unto the Lord. Why? Because they knew that he was the one who had the power. The Most High gave Moses the power. That's why Moses took them out of slavery. Now they were speaking up against Moses and against the Most High. They started dying, and what did they do? Go up against the Salakia. They went up to Moses and told him Salakia. You know what I'm saying? And that's what would happen, and that's what's going to happen if these other if people just want to start their own group or they want to give themselves a name. You know what I'm saying? If they do anything out of order, they're going to get put to death. You know what I'm saying? Right. And like I read before, just because judgment is not executed speedily, you know, now you can get away with it. Now your punishment is not going to come right away. But back then, their punishment came right away. And when Christ comes back, your punishment is going to come right away too. Damn right. You're not going to have a choice. They didn't want to be out there in the wilderness walking around, but they had no choice, man. That's what the Most High chose for you.
That's right. That's about it. Man, that's right. That's right, man. Sharp one right there. Heavy. That's true, man. You know, that's what we got to understand, that, you know what, it's important to be in the truth. It's important to find yourself in a house that's going to take care of you. Right. It's important to find yourself amongst brothers that their interest is to unite the Black, the Hispanic, and the Native American Indian. Let me tell you something, man. There's a lot of deception going on out there. There's a lot of brothers who are thinking, you know, Issacharites should start their own thing. You know, Benjamites should start their own thing. You know, American Indians should be their own thing. But let me tell you something. We've tried that for decades. Right? The Chicano movement, the student movement, the Black Panther movement, the Indian movement. These were all separate groups who were trying to do something. Proof is that today, in our time, in the year 2018, none of these things have worked. How do you know that? They're still deporting our people. Right. Blacks are still being shot in the street. Right. Like the modern day lynching right there. Modern day lynchings. The Native American Indian is still living on reservations. So don't come and tell me that the Black Panther movement worked, or that the Brown Berets worked, or that the Native American Indian movement worked. It didn't. Because you know what? If it had worked, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in today. Right. Today, we're finding ourselves worse, probably in worse conditions that we were in the past. Today, those neighborhoods that used to be ours are now being gentrified, and our people are being pushed out of our own livings, our own quarters, our own neighborhoods, our own barrios. And you know what? Now we're living in a time where the white man can take anything he wants.
Right.
And you know what? You're not saying nothing. Because once again, like I always mention, and you know, because I was from that area, like, where are the gangs that were once upholding their neighborhoods, that were once tagging their walls and saying, this is my area, this is my barrio? Where are they at? How come they haven't gone down to City Hall and told the white man, stop coming down here and pushing my people out? Stop coming down here and sending my people to live in the deserts, like
right.
What is that? Victorville.
Victorville,
Damn. You know what I'm saying?
How they make, like, if I could, how they make all the houses cheap over there,
right,
towards that area, but they bring up the cost and your utilities wherever you're living at.
Right.
Anywhere in LA, anywhere where there's a lot of business at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Anywhere where they can make a lot of money at, they're raising up the utilities, they're raising up the rent.
Right.
To what? To kick you out of there and to make you live. They gonna look, where's it cheap at then?
Right.
Everything's expensive, but where's it cheap at? Then you gonna find somewhere out in the desert where it's in the middle of nowhere.
And let me tell you something. I'm talking about my neighborhood, LA, Boyle Heights, Lincoln Heights, you know, my areas over there. But Kawak, Harlem is being gentrified itself. You know what I'm saying? I went out to Harlem and I see there's a college out there and it's slowly pushing people out of their areas, out of Harlem. Now you see white people in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? I think the white man is more dangerous than the black man who used to shoot up his own neighborhood.
Right.
Because you know what? At least you could live in there. Yeah, you were living dangerously, but you live there. Now where are you going to go when the rent is so high? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, our black folks, our Mexican people, our Puerto Rican brothers, our Native Indian brothers, they're too goddamn busy doing the Kiki dance. You know what I'm saying? Right. Just like my brother Kawak said, you know, this whole thing, Tebello is telling us that Rhode Island is the same, bro. You know, all our places are being gentrified. Let me tell you something, and I'm going to tell you this. This is going for my Issacharite brothers because you know what? I pay attention to what Issachar's got to say. When it's coming from my Latino brothers, my Chicano brothers, my Central American brothers, I'm listening, bro. You know what? You know what? A lot of us brothers, we're like, man, I'm going to boot this brother off my Facebook because I'm tired of hearing his bullshit. But you know what? I don't do that. You know why? I want to hear your bullshit. You know why I want to hear your bullshit? Because your bullshit is real. You know, that's the expression of how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Us people, us Mexican people, we're poets, man. We've always been like that. Our roots are dug into our past ancestry that used to be just like we are today. And let me tell you something. It's important to know how our people feel. And let me tell you something, man. I don't shy away from nonsense. I just don't answer. But let me tell you something. It's important to know that, you know what? None of our movements have worked. Man, I took those Chicano studies, bro, for a long time. I've always been like this. This is nothing new to me. I came into ISUPK knowing that everything I learned in high school, man, came to flourish here in the UPK.
Right.
If you've seen my classes, you should know I'm a historian, man. I know the Latin American history. I know Salvadoreño, Guatemalteco, Hondureño, Chileño, you know, all these histories, man. I don't know. You ever heard of who? Let me bring somebody out off the top of my head. Simón Bolívar. Who is Simón Bolívar? You know what I'm saying? Who's Simón Bolívar? Most of Latinos don't even know who the hell Simón Bolívar is. You know what I'm saying? I know who Simón Bolívar is because I did back in the day. I knew who he was. I never mentioned him, but today I'm mentioning him. Simón Bolívar was the man who freed Latin America of slavery. He was a goddamn Spaniard mixed with indigenous. But Simón Bolívar, you know what? He had a heart for the indigenous people. He said, man, these people can't be like that. You know, Bolivia is named after Simón Bolívar because that's where he He started. Hugo Chavez said, you know what? My democracy is gonna be Bolivarian. Why Bolivarian? Because Simon Bolivar was the one who said the land belongs to the people.
Right.
What is it? Medication and hospitals are for the people. Agriculture is for the people. Simon Bolivar was that man right there. And let me tell you, yo soy mexicano, but yet I know that history. Go ahead.
Right. I was going to say that they have a movie. They have several movies about that.
About Simon Bolivar? Yeah, okay. That's right. And let me tell you something. I didn't watch those movies, but since I know the history of Latin America, I know that Simon Bolivar was that man who rose up against the Spaniards, against those people who decided, you know what, we no longer going to have that. So that's why it's important, one, to know history, two, to know this Bible. Listen, I learned the history of Latin America in school. I learned Bible at the ISUPK. And I knew that 1 + 1 made a whole. Not two, made a whole. I learned history. I learned the Bible. I learned that ISUPK was telling me, man, the Lord told me this is where it's at. All these other fools out there talking about we should separate, that this is lawful, that prove this, that prove that. I'm going to ask you today, you got a tattoo. How is that going to help your people? Right?
Right.
Separate from the black man. How is that going to help your people? Right? Tell me, how is all this nonsense you're speaking, how is that going to help your people? How is that going to stop your people from being killed? How is that going to stop your people from being locked up in cages? Right. How is that going to stop your people from being separated from their families? What good is all that nonsense that you're posting? What good is all that nonsense that you're speaking? What good is it? Think about it logically in our time. What good is that? How is that going to benefit our people, our struggle, our race? Go ahead,
I got a scripture, but also, if I could add real quick, what you say is super heavy because how the enemy wants to separate it.
Right.
So how could, the Bible says never trust your enemy.
Right.
How could something the enemy wants for us be good for us? You know what I'm saying? If the enemy wants to separate it, it's obvious that it's because that's the way he can conquer us and that's the way he can stay on top of us.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And an enemy is never going to do something or want something that is not going to benefit him instead of other people. You know what I'm saying? So all these brothers that, you know, that say that they want to be separate and all that, they probably got that from somebody else. You know, but you got to look at the credibility of who you're getting these ideas from. That's right. You get what I'm saying? It's like a woman listening to a woman listening to another woman which has no husband. About a husband advice.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they're saying. That's equivalent to that. You know what I'm saying?
You damn right about that. I couldn't have said it better myself. You got that precept? Read it.
Yeah, come on. It's Lamentations chapter 4 and 17, and it reads, "As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us."
Read again.
As for us,
the black, the Hispanic, and the Native American Indian. Read.
Our eyes as yet failed for our.
I'm going to interrupt you. Our eyes have failed. Let me tell you something. Our eyes have failed. You know why they failed? Because every time that fool posts something that we should separate, we read it and it fails us, man. It tells us something that's a damn lie. We're failing, man. We should know better than that, but we don't. Read.
Our eyes as yet failed for our vain help.
Our vain help. Let me tell you something. Those brothers posting up that nonsense that blacks and Hispanics should separate, that us Hispanics shouldn't be following the laws or the guidance of our black brothers, man, that's what that's talking about right there. Continue reading.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
Let me tell you something. A nation that could not save us. If you're talking about separation, America has been talking about separation for a long time.
Right.
Let me tell you, they might have said that we're now together, but we're not together. How come white people aren't being shot and killed in the street like black brothers are?
Right.
How come they ain't sending these goddamn Germans or these goddamn Swedish or these goddamn Europeans back to Europe who don't have papers, but yet they're pulling over Mexicans, and because you don't speak English, man, they're taking you in. What difference is it between us? Is this about laws or is this about color and culture? Continue reading.
They hunt our steps.
They hunt our steps, man. Let me tell you something. That brother, and I'm not saying he was correct because I heard he had a warrant because he murdered some people in Mexico, but his wife was pregnant. They hunt his steps, bro. They didn't know he had a warrant, but you know what they did know? They knew he was Mexican and they knew his wife was Mexican. And that's why they pulled him over. Continue reading.
They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets.
That we cannot go in our streets. Let me tell you something. These are our streets, man. If you pay taxes, these are your goddamn streets. This is your home. Orange County, Los Angeles, San Bernardino, San Fernando Valley. This is your home, man. You were brought up and raised in this place. And yet you cannot go nowhere without the police hassling you, pulling you over, and you know what? Shooting you and killing you dead if you're a black man, or if you're a Mexican man, or if you're a Native Indian. Man, this was your land. Continue reading.
Oh, God. Our end is near.
Our end is near, man. You go out one day, you might not even come back. Read.
Our days are fulfilled.
And our days fulfilled. Read.
For our end is come.
This is our end, man. This is the end that has come. This is the way we ended up, man. This is the way we finished. You know how we finished? We finished when these cops see you driving a nice car and they think you're a black man who doesn't deserve it. And you know what? They put an end to your life. You got any more on that?
Oh, that's it on that.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to break something out. 2nd Esdras, right? Chapter 9, verse 32. And you know what I'm going to bring out to put on to what Kushar want to say? You know why this is happening to us? You know why the black man is getting killed? You know why the Mexican is being deported? You know why they separating your families and sending your kids as a Mexican to another nation? Do you know why the American Indian is losing his land and being put on reservations and being killed and incarcerated? I'll tell you why. 2nd Esdras, chapter 9, verse 32. But our fathers, man, my dad, my mom, my uncle, my grandma, who decided to go and worship that goddamn white Virgin Mary, that goddamn white Jesus Christ, who decided to go every Sunday to church, who decided to eat pork, who decided to eat shrimp, who decided to do all these babosadas that they knew was not in the Bible. De todos modos, iban y hacían estas cosas, iban a las iglesias católicas, a las iglesias cristianas, iban y decían que estas cosas eran para ellos. Let me tell you something. 2nd Esdras points out, but our fathers, which received the law, kept it not. Nuestros padres que recibieron las leyes y los mandamientos, nunca las guardaron. And observed not thy ordinances, y nunca siguieron las leyes que Dios nos había dado. Nunca decidieron pensar poquito de leer la Biblia. You know why? Because our ancestors, our father, our grandma, our great-grandma, they didn't give a damn. They didn't want to read. They just wanted to go to church, put that veil over their head, and go in there, and whatever the goddamn pastor or priest said, that's what they were with, man. As long as he passed around that plate, they would put money in it, and they wouldn't give a damn what the Bible had to say. They never took a minute to read what the Bible had to say. You know who did? We do here in the ISGPK. Right. We want to open this book, and we want to realize what the Bible's talking to us about. We want to realize and read what the Bible says to us. We want to see for ourselves what it's all about. You know why? Because the Spirit of the Lord has come down on this time that we're living, all of us, and the Lord has called us to open up these books and stop messing around and stop listening to what anybody else says and start seeing for ourselves what the truth is. ISUPK, home of the truth. That's why it's called like that. It continues saying, and observe not thy ordinances, and though the fruit of thy law did not perish, neither could it, for it was thine. Let me tell you something. The fruit of the law has never perished. It's always been allowed. It's ours for us to cherish, for us to take in. Let me tell you something. It's time for us blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians to understand that the Lord has called us, has come upon us to wake up at this time and wake up our brothers and sisters. And you know what? Call them to the truth. Call them to this time. Let me tell you something. If you're watching this video, it's because the Lord has called us to call you to a truth. And that truth is one of black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian. You had something to
yeah,
on?
If I could, real quick, the precept, you know what I'm saying, to all those who feel discouraged that the Lord has chosen us, you know what I'm saying? For any of you that feel discouraged or feel like, or you're in denial, you know, to the fact that the Lord chose us, you're saying the minority, well, the scripture will say it all right here if I could, Salakia. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 27. And it reads, but the Most High has chosen the foolish things of this world.
The Lord has what?
Chosen the foolish things of the world.
Let me tell you something. The Lord has chosen the foolish things of the world. I'm Awan, Aaron, Jeremiah, Taylor. The Lord has chosen the foolish things of this world. When you go and tell people, hey man, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I believe in the law, statutes, and commandments. I believe that the Lord, you know, has chosen me. I'm not going to eat shrimp. I'm not going to eat pork. No voy a ir a ver la Virgen María. No voy a ir a darle honra a este Cristo Blanco. I ain't going to do none of these things. You know, I'm not going to go honor these things that my parents and my ancestors honored. Let me tell you something. We are what?
The foolish things of the world.
We are the foolish things of the world. That's what everybody sees us as. They see us as foolish. Let me tell you something, Jeremiah, Mr. Gomez. When you tell your mom that you hear Israelites speak, ay, mijo, you know, tan pendejos. You know, hey, you know, why are you listening to them? That's not true. You know, you should go to church. Ve a la iglesia, you know, ve dale al pastor, ve dale al who's that guy? El padre, you know what I'm saying? And yet these priests are coming out that they've been molesting, raping, and robbing and stealing the Mexican people since 1492.
Right.
Since they stepped on our land, they've been nothing but damn thieves, rapists, and murderers. Let me tell you what Christopher Columbus wrote in his diaries. They give more for a 12-year-old girl than for a slave. You know why? Because they were pedophiles. That's why he wrote that. Because to him, a 12-year-old girl was a sex slave. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was to him. That's the damn truth. That's right. What they were. Right. I'm not here to color coat, sugarcoat, or not say the right things. You know what I'm saying? This is 2018. We're out here with the Spirit of the Lord, letting our Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian brothers know that, you know what? We're out here to bring it out the way it should be. And when my pops, when my moms, when my uncles, when my grandmas, when all of them think, I really don't give a damn what you think. If you don't like what I'm saying, if you're on my Facebook, log the hell out, bro. You ain't got to be there. You ain't got to see me. I don't visit you. When you wonder how come he don't come to visit me, I don't come to visit you because you ain't in the truth. I said it once, I'm going to say it again. When you got into the gang, bro, and I don't know if any of you ever got into a gang. I did, right? Hey, when you got in, you went and told the ranking, I'm going to call them elders, but I'm going to call them OGs. You told the OGs, brother, I'm trying to get in. What's up? I'm trying to get in here. And you know what he told you? Okay, bro, you're going to get in. I'm going to give you a name, but you got to go through these brothers right here. This line of brothers is going to put in work, bro. And if you make it to the end of the line, you earn yourself a name. So what did you do? You manned up, bro. You manned up. You put your loins on. You grip your loins, and you said, man, I'm going to run through this. I'm going to run through this, and I'm going to get to the end. And you know what? You didn't run. You stood there and you threw blows, bro. You were throwing blows. Toma, toma, you know? Okay, bro. Take that. You know, you didn't cry. You didn't hurt. You didn't fall. You stood up and you went through that line and you got all the way to the end. And at the end, the brothers came back, bro. They came back and they gave you a hug. And they told you, you fucked up now, bro. You in a gang, you know? But you know what? You felt a passion of pride that you made it through, that you were there, and then they gave you a name. You know what? This is your name. That's what it's like. And you know why you went to that one? You know why you went to Clanton? You know why you went to 18? You know why you went there? I'll tell you why. Because you knew they were OGs. You didn't go to no fake made-up name, bro. You didn't go to some fake gang or some fake fools that were perpetrating to be real. You went to the real ones. When you were OG, you went to the OGs. You can't give yourself a name. You can't say and go out there and spread lies. I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to go and you're going to stand in line. You know why? Because our ancestors did, bro. You know how your ancestors did? I'll tell you how your ancestors did. To wear the eagle suit, to wear the jaguar suit as an Aztec warrior, you went to a school, bro. You were either an elder or you were honored to go into these schools. And when you went to these schools, you didn't see your parents, bro. You were stuck in these schools till you were of age. And they put you through a test. And you became an honor to wear the eagle suit, to wear the jaguar suit. The highest honor of an Aztec, bro, was to wear these suits. If you wore that suit, people saw you and they knew you were a warrior. Today, we got a bunch of goddamn washed up, watered down Hebrew Israelites that think they're going to go out there and spread a truth that they don't have. Right. You know why you don't have it? Because you weren't man enough to stay. You weren't man enough to follow through. You fell out, bro. You fell out and you could not cut it. You know why you couldn't cut it? Because you just were man enough. You could not stay in. Let me tell you something. The Aztecs, bro, if you did not stay in that school, if you did not stay in that, man, you were put to death, bro. That's the truth. The highest honor was that. Because you know what? You just couldn't handle it. And let me tell you something. Our ancestors knew where they came. And that tradition came from the Israelites, bro. That tradition came from Tola, son of Issachar. The book of what is that? In the Old Testament, right? That's where it came from. The book of Chronicles, that's where you find Tola. The book of Chronicles tells you Tola was a mighty warrior, right? Who are you? You're nothing, bro. You're the man who's out there trying to separate a northern and a southern kingdom. You're the man that's out there trying to say that we should be by ourselves, that we should be some other people. But yet, you don't know the truth. You know why you don't know the truth? Because you couldn't even handle being in the truth. The Lord chose the truth. He chose the truth in 1969. That's when he stepped into this earth and bring down the spirit of Israel and woke up his people. How are you going to tell me? How are you going to tell me a story that you don't know? I'll tell you why. Because you fake. Because you ain't a man of honor. You ain't a man of Israel. You ain't a man of the Lord. You're a man for yourself. You're a man who's going out and trying to do your own thing, giving your own name, giving your own honor, trying to be a man who's going to try to bring another group together. You know what? That's not the way it works. Man, let me tell you something. In the world, oh man, I could prove to you who I was in the world. I could bring you to the truth of who I was, and you'll look at my record and you'll be like, God damn, brother, you were somebody. But you know what? I'm a nobody. You know who I am? I'm a brother in a school called One West ISUPK, home of the truth. They're teaching me how to stay in honor, how to stay in order, how to follow directions, how to learn, how to educate, how to grow. Because we all grow somewhere. I ain't going to grow by myself. And let me tell you something, brother. I was an intelligent person in the world. But you know what? When I came up against the brothers of the ISUPK, I realized that, man, I was not anybody till I became educated. Go ahead, Kishar.
I got a precept, you know what I'm saying? It's
Run it.
Good. It's in the book of Luke, chapter 9 and verse 23. And he said to them all, if any man will come after me,
right?
Let him deny himself.
Let him what?
Deny himself.
Read it again.
And he said to them all, this is Christ.
To all, to everybody. Read.
If any man will come after me,
if any man come after the Lord, read.
Let him deny himself.
Let him deny yourself, man. Don't be taking pictures with your goddamn car. Don't be taking pictures with your goddamn woman. Don't be taking pictures of your goddamn tattoos. Don't be taking pictures of your goddamn haircut. Read.
And take up his cross
and
daily.
Take up your cross daily. You know what the cross was? The cross is not something that you wear around your neck. The cross is a burden that the blacks, the Hispanic, and the Native American Indians have in common. What's the burden we have in common? I'll tell you what the burden of the black man is, that he's been hung, he's been persecuted, he's been killed, he's been enslaved, and he's been separated from his family. That's the same burden that the Mexican and the Native Indian have. The Mexican in 1849, when the white man came to California during the gold rush era, he came here and took the land from the Native American Mexican, bro, because California, Nevada, Arizona, y Texas era de la gente mexicana. This was our land, bro, not Native Indian land, Mexicano land, bro. This is what we were. And let me tell you what we did, bro. We came here and they took our land, bro. Why? Because we're just like the black man. And let me tell you something. When you're trying to separate the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom, you better remember one thing. Keep one thing in mind, that the Black Panthers didn't do a goddamn thing. That the Chicano movement, the Mexica, and all these movements, all these schools, the agricultural uprise, the school uprise, the walks and everything, didn't do a goddamn thing for the Chicanos. The Native American Indian movement, the Puerto Rican movement, didn't do a goddamn thing for these people. You know how I know that? Because today in 2018, we're still in the same goddamn situation. If we'd have done something correctly, we'd have been free people. We'd have had our land. We'd have had everything. We wouldn't be going through these problems that I wouldn't be speaking right now. Right. I'd be living plush, but yet I'm not. I have to uplift my voice and put up my fist to call on to my people that are asleep, that can see the struggle that I'm going through, that can see my hand in the air, my fist in the air, and know that I'm calling you to come into a truth that we all need to recognize. That's why we're still here doing that. Continue reading. Oh, okay, that's cool. But you know what? That's why we're here. That's what happened to us. That's why we're lost. That's why we haven't been able to get out of the situation. Why? Because no goddamn movement has ever worked. I'll tell you what movement's going to work. The uniting of Israel. That's what's going to happen. When the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom come together, man, we're going to be strong. Let me tell you something. If the blacks and the Hispanics in the jail system got together, they'd be unstoppable. If the Bloods, the Cuz, the Crips, the Norteños and Sureños would come together, we would be unstoppable. Right. Today in our time, Sureños are up north, Norteños are down south, right. Bloods and Crips are here and there, and we're all separated. and we ain't doing a goddamn thing. We're still getting killed, deported, put in cages, arrested. We're still in the same situation. This is proof that separation takes us nowhere. Right. This is proof that all that you go out there and spill out that we should do our own thing takes us nowhere. That is not the solution. You know why it's not the solution? Because if it was, we'd have been somewhere already. With all the Chicano movements that have come up, we should be already there. We should already be a strong people. We should already be a goddamn army of Chicanos and Mexicanos and all that. But you know what? We're not, bro. It has got us nowhere. None of these plans, these major plans of Cesar Chavez and all these people have got us anywhere. The Brown Berets, brother, have got us nowhere. Let me tell you, this Sunday, for all of you who live in the California area or right here in LA, right? This Sunday, East LA is going to have the Chicano March, the moratorium. Do you know what the moratorium is? Nazar, you know what the moratorium is? Tarash, Johnny, you know what the moratorium is? Go ahead, post it up if you know what the moratorium is. I'm not seeing anybody telling me what the moratorium is. Well, what's wrong? You're not educated? You don't know? You don't know your Chicano history? You don't know what that is? I guess you don't, right? You don't know what moratorium is, bro. You don't know what that was. You have no idea what the moratorium was. That's why you have no answer. The moratorium was when the Chicano movement got together in East LA in 1960s and they marched. And you know what happened to them? The white man and his police came over to that park and shot our people in a peaceful movement that happened in that time. They went to the park in East LA and they opened fire on our people. That's what the moratorium was. It's called the moratorium because this week they're going to go out there and celebrate it. They're going to go out there and they're going to come up and they're going to march again to remember that day that happened. Pero ¿sabes qué? That day was useless, bro. You know why? Because thousands of people gathered together in East LA in the 1960s to march, and we're still in the same situation today. Chicanos, Latinos, Mexicoamericanos, Salvadoreños, Guatemaltecos, Hondureños, Brasileños, Chilenos. Today, we're still suffering from the same goddamn thing. Me, man, I'm on nobody's side, bro. I'm on my people's side. I'm on Israel's side. I want to bring my Black and Hispanic and Native American Indian together. You know why? Because I know that together we're a strong people. We're an army. Man, we're a force to reckon with. Let me tell you something, man. We're all the salt of the earth. That's what we are. If you're Mexicano, you're the salt of the earth, bro. I take nothing from you. I don't care what goddamn camp you're from or whether you're in the UPK or not. You're the salt of the earth. All you're missing is the unity of the brotherhood. All you're missing is to come together with us and you know what? Put everything aside and come in here, man, and join us and come together in a fight. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's what we need to do. How are we going to do that? That verse you read, what's that? Shave yourself?
It's like, deny yourself.
Deny yourself, bro. Read it.
Come on. If any man will come after me.
If any man will come after me. Come on, man. Let's go after the Lord. Because you know what? He's our strength. Read.
Let him deny himself.
Let him deny himself, bro. Let's deny ourselves. Let's not think of who, you know, oh, yo soy Mexicano, yo soy Chicano, yo soy Latino, Nahual, or whatever you want to call yourself, right? Let's deny ourselves, bro. Let's start fresh. Read.
And take up his cross daily.
And take up the cross daily, bro. Let's take up the burden of our brothers.
Right.
Read.
And follow me.
And follow the Lord. laws, statutes, and commandments. Read.
For whosoever will save his life,
For whosoever will save his life, man. Read.
shall lose it.
I'm gonna lose my life, bro. Today you see me on this phone, you see me on this teaching, you see me here. But you know what? There'll be a day when you're gonna look and you're gonna be like, that brother died right there. And you know what? I would rather die like this, speaking up for my people, the Black, the Hispanic, and the Native American Indian. Read.
Come on. For whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it.
Man, I'm ready to save my life, brother. That's what it is. Let me tell you something. Zapata was not famous till he died, bro. Man, I'm going to go a little closer. Chalino Sanchez, it was not famous till he died, bro. Right? One of my favorite artists, bro, in Latin America, bro. Mexicano, cabrones, right? Chalino Sanchez. He was not famous till he died. Saul Vieira was not famous till he died, bro. When they died, they became famous. I ain't famous today. But you know what? I'm ready to become famous for the Lord. I'm ready to put in this work, go out to camp, and die for this truth, bro. I'm ready to go out there and put my life on the line for my brothers. And you know what? I'm going to bring it up. You damn right, Nazar. 100 blacks, 20 Latinos. And you know what? Those 20 Latinos, bro, are going to be the Mexicanos that are going to stand proud and bring everybody else in. It's better to be like that. You know why? Because they're going to look back and they're going to be like, oh, that's that brother right there, bro. That's that brother that put in work. That's that brother that went against all odds and bring his people to justice, bro. I would rather be that person than to be with a bunch of fools that talk nothing but masa. Read, brother.
Got a precept.
Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 7. And it says, the Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number.
You see that? Read that again.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 7. The Lord did not set his love upon you.
Let me tell you, Nazar, the Lord did not set his love upon you. Read.
Nor choose you.
He didn't choose you, bro. Read.
Because ye were more in numbers.
Because we were more in numbers, bro. He didn't choose me, you, Kasharwan, and a few of us because we were of the most in numbers. Why did he choose us?
Because ye were more in number than any people. For ye were the fewest of all people.
Because we were the fewest of more people. Because we are a few. Because us Mexicanos somos poquitos. But let me read. Read.
But because the Lord loved you.
Because the Lord loved us, bro. Because us, we have heart. Because we come from the bloodline of warriors, bro. Because our ancestors, they were a few, but they died with pride, bro. Read.
And because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers.
Let me tell you something. He's going to keep an oath that he sworn unto our fathers, the Latinos, Ishikarites, Tola, and all his descendants. Read.
Had the Lord brought you out of, it's like it, had the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand.
The Lord has brought us out, Nazar, us, Issachar, us few. He's bringing us with a mighty hand, bro. These words that I speak, these are not words coming out of my mouth. These are mighty hands. These are the hands of our ancestors, bro. This is history that has been implanted into my heart, bro, into my spirit. The Lord has bring us out like that. The Lord is going to bring us few Issacharites in this truth, but we're going to be a mighty hand. Read.
And redeemed you out of the house of bondmen.
Let me tell you something. He's redeemed us. I know he's redeemed me. You know why? Because I sold garbage to my brother. Because I sold that drugs that destroyed my brothers, bro. Because I was in those clubs where I would go and spread that BS onto my brothers. And who knows how many families I separated. Who knows how many children were separated from their fathers because of me. Because I looked to gain for myself. because I wanted that truck, because I wanted those rims, because I wanted that nice gold, 45, because I wanted these things, because I thought I was, riding mighty with this. The Lord called me out of that. Read.
From the hand of the Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
You know what? Who's the Pharaoh of this Egypt? The American government is the Pharaoh of this Egypt. That's who the Pharaoh is. And you know what? Right. We are the few who are coming out of here. We are the ones who are going to come into this truth, and we're going to show a mighty hand, bro. And 10 years from now, you know that being an Israelite is going to become a common word, bro. It's going to be a household name. It's going to be like calling yourself a Seventh-day Adventist or a Baptist or I don't know, an evangelist or a Catholic. People are going to be like, damn, that brother right there is an Israelite. And you know what he is? He's an Issacharite. And you know where he's from? Man, that fool right there is from the UPK, bro. You know why? Because that's the way it is. People are going to see us and they're going to be like, yeah, that's that brother right there. That's that brother holding that hand. In our hands is a deck of cards, bro, and we're the ace. There's 4 aces, and we're one of those aces, bro. Let me tell you something. We're the ones that are going to bring the people out. And you know how we're going to bring them out? We're going to bring them out in this truth. You know why we're going to bring them out in this truth? Because UPK is the home of the truth. How do I know that? Because I've been there. I've been to the high holy days. I've been to the the feast days. I've been to the Passover days, and I've seen the way they treat me, bro. I've seen how they looked at me and have talked to me and have treated me like, damn, we glad you in this truth, man. We glad that Issachar has come in. We glad that you speaking this history that you know, because you know what? They know who we are, and they know that bringing Issachar and Judah together, man, we are strong people. There ain't no one stronger than Issachar and Judah, man. We are an army to deal with. You know what I'm saying? We have a history. We got a history that no one else is going to be able to top, bro. No one else. We are those people. And let me tell you something. I would never settle for less, man. How can I settle for less? How can I go to one of these fake camps? Or how can I go and try to start my own garbage? You know why? Because I'm real, man. I'm a real individual. And I look for the real shit. I ain't looking for no garbage. I ain't going out there trying to be something that I'm not, or trying to perpetrate or try to copy. I ain't no copycat, bro. I ain't no leather. You know what? I keep it real, bro. And I know where the real is at. I ain't going to spread no lies. I'm going out to spread truth. And this is where I find the truth, bro. Let me tell you something. All these other camps, I've seen them. I've seen them, man. Man, I'm going to mention one. I seen Sakari, bro. I seen him when General Yohana had his shows. I seen him when General Muhammad had his shows. I seen him on Cross the Line. I see them on those shows. Why are they on those shows? Why do they go on? I'll tell you why they go on. They go on because that's where they learn their precepts. They go on because that's where they learn their truth. Right. That's why they go on there, because they know that that's where it's at. They know that. That's why they're on those truths. That's why you see them on there. No other place, brother. You know what? I ain't here for no reason at all. I'm here because when I seen that, I knew where it was at too. I would not settle for less. Anything else is less, bro. That's what it is. And let me tell you something. We're living in the time when our Latin American people need heroes, bro. They need real people. They need la raza que de veras va a ir a hablar y va a levantar la voz y va a poner el espíritu para la gente que de veras ocupa ahora. You know what I'm saying? Nuestra gente está perdida. México está perdido. El Salvador está perdido. Guatemala está perdido. Todo Latinoamérica, Centroamérica y México está perdido. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we need to wake up. Why? Because we're going to help our people come back from the destruction that they're in. And let me tell you something. What the Lord say? He didn't choose us because we're a few. He chose us because we're strong. He chose us because we have heart. And let me tell you why he chose the Mexican people. He chose the Mexican people because if you don't know your Aztec history, your Mexica history, your Latin American history, then you don't know that we were a strong people, warriors to the death. You had something to share on?
Oh, yes, he chose us because we were the fewer.
That's right. He chose us because we are the few. That's why he chose us. Let me tell you something. I see a lot of my old veterano cholo friends. They come and they tell me, well, you know what, bro? I'm in what is that called? What is that cholo church called? Man, what the hell is that called, bro? I trip off when they tell me that too, because I'm like, come on, brother. It's called the outreach centers. Goddamn right. Right? The outreach centers, bro. I know a lot of veteranos that I used to know from the day, and they, hey, bro, you know, I'm in the outreach center, bro. You know, I stopped drinking. I stopped smoking weed. I stopped, you know, doing this. I got out of jail, and now I'm in the veterano center. Give me that. I chose you. You know, I'm in the veterano center, bro. I'm a born again Christian, bro. You know, I ain't banging no more. I ain't doing this. I ain't doing that. I love everybody now. You know what the problem is? That they become soft, bro. You become soft thinking that by yourself you were able to find the Lord. You became soft by thinking that within me I found the Lord. I found the Lord inside of me, bro. I'm born again. You might as well be a Christian talking about that you found the Lord, that the Lord is inside of you, that the truth is inside of you, that inside of you, you found it. That's a Christian mentality, bro. That's what that is. When you start saying that you found it inside of you, that's a Christian mentality, bro. That's what these old veteranos are saying. If you talk to an old veterano, he's going to tell you, brother, he's going to say, I found the truth. It's inside of me. I found it here at the outreach center, bro. I go every Sunday to this outreach center, and I sit in a group of people, and we tell ourselves our problem. You heard of it, Chevello? You heard of it? Mayana, Napash, you heard of this? Chariash, you heard of this? You heard of these veteranos? Here in California, we got plenty of them, bro, because, you know, California is the birth of the cholo. Read that precept, and let me tell you what it really is. Read.
John chapter 15 and verse 16.
John chapter 15 and verse 16. Open up your Bible, brother. Read.
Ye have not chosen me.
What?
Ye have not chosen me.
You did not choose the Lord, bro. The Lord isn't inside of you that you decided, oh, I found the Lord is inside of me. Oh, inside of me is the truth. In all of us is the truth. What does the Lord say?
Ye have not chosen me.
Man, you can never choose the Lord, bro. You're a nobody. You are a nobody, bro. You are a zero, bro. There is nothing in you that could cause you to find the Lord. What does the Lord say?
But I.
But who?
But I.
But who?
I.
Who's I? I is the Lord, bro. Not you, the Lord. Read.
But I have chosen you.
Has what?
Chosen you.
Has what?
But I have chosen you.
Let me tell you something, bro. The Lord has chosen you, bro. That's who chose you. You cannot go out there and think that you found the Lord, that the truth is in you, that you have you're now re-found yourself, that you left the Cholo movement and got out of jail. Oh, I found myself now. I'm a born-again Christian. I found inside of me, the Lord is in me. Because that's what they tell me, bro. That's what those veteranos, Christian veteranos, that's what they tell. That's the word they use, bro. I found the Lord. I found him, bro. I went to this church and I found the Lord. But what does the Lord say?
What's lucky? Ye have not chosen me.
You cannot choose the Lord, bro. You cannot find the truth. The truth is not in you. The Lord is not in you. You are not the truth. You have not found the truth. You have not been the man above all men out of millions and millions of generations. All of a sudden, here comes this one individual who has found the Lord by himself. And what does the Lord say?
But I have chosen you.
He chooses us, bro. He decides, Kazakh, man, you're about to leave all that you did in the past. You're about to live all that stuff, all that good you had, all that riches you had, all that simple lifestyle that you were living, all those homies that used to come and kick it inside your cellar, inside your attic, inside your garage, all that stuff that you used to do down there, all those nights of staying up till 4 or 5 in the morning, las amanecidas, las idas a Tijuana, all those amanecidas que te dabas. You know what? That's not what the Lord is saying, bro. The Lord is saying, what?
But I have chosen you.
He's chosen me, bro. He's chosen me. He's chosen Kasharwan. He's chosen Lahab. He's chosen Rana. He's chosen Guerrero. He's chosen Chayo. He's chosen Nazar. He's chosen all of us, bro. He's chosen all of us. He's the one who's decided that we're going to come out and we're going to spread this truth and we're going to die for this truth. Right? We're going to bring our brothers out. We're going to educate ourselves. We're going to come into this truth as one under all the brotherhood, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, and we're going to bring all our people out. We ain't going to bring only the Mexicans, bro. We ain't going to bring only the blacks. We ain't going to bring only the Native Indians. We ain't going to bring the Levites or the Benjamites or any of those, the Asher. We ain't going to bring any. We're going to bring all of our brothers out. We're going to stay here. We're going to do this work, and we're going to bring out all of our brothers. My words are just as important as my Judite brothers' words are. My words are just as important as my Benjamite brothers' words are. My words are just as important as all of ours. But you know how they become important? They become strong when we become one. That's how we become strong. That's when we become leaders. When you got 50, 500, 1,000 men under you. That's when you become strong. When men come and tell you, Adawan, what am I going to do next? When men come and tell you, Adawan, should I do this? When men come and tell you, Adawan, you know what? I'm about to go out and I need help. And you respond, Ak, I'm there to help you, brother. I'm there to get you. When you say, Adawan, you know what? I'm having an issue, man. I got a problem with my girl. I got a problem at home. I got a problem with my family. And this Adawan responds to you, you know what? I'm here to help you, bro, with that problem. And you know why he's called Adawan? Because he responded like that to somebody else. He said, Adawan, I want to help my brothers and sisters out. And that Adawan above him said, do the work, man. Gain your rank. Get into this truth. Make it work. Show that you're worthy of this. You know how you know you're worthy of this? Let me tell you something. On Facebook, you see a lot of women talking about that they're what? That they're righteous. That they're righteous, bro. That they're righteous. What else are they? What other words do they use? They're righteous. They're man, please help me with those words that the women use. You know, virtuous. Virtuous. Oh, I'm a virtuous woman. I'm a righteous woman. Who told you you were virtuous? Who told you you were righteous for you to use that word for yourself? Who told you you were a good person for you to use that word for yourself? Who told you you were intelligent for you to use that word for yourself? You're right, modest. They say, oh, I'm a modest woman. Who told you you were modest? Just like who told you that you were a leader? Who told you that you were a teacher? Who told you that you were a prophet? Who told you that? Did you tell yourself that? Did you wake up one day and say, oh, I'm this person? Let me tell you something. For all us, because I go into my Issacharite brothers, man, because, you know, I'm Issachar, man. Our ancestors, they would put you to death, bro, if you went out there and said that you were something that you were not. If you went out there and proclaimed that you were something that you were not, that was a death sentence, bro. You know how you proclaim? Because someone issued that to you. because someone honored you like that. Because somebody said, yeah, bro, you're worthy of that. Because 100 people above you saw you, looked at you, saw your work, and said, yeah, brother, man, you know what? That's honored in you, bro. You definitely earned that. You are definitely that brother. You, man, that's you right there. And you know what? They honored you, bro. That's not my words. That's not me speaking out of my ass, bro. That's history right there. That's me bringing out Aztec history. That's me bringing out Mayan history. That's me telling you that I know, I read it. I can bring it out. I can show you in my books that I read daily where that's at, bro. I can show you. I ain't pretending. I ain't bringing up no nonsense. I'm showing you. I'm showing you, bro, the Apocrypha. I'm showing you how Judas Maccabees, right? Judas Maccabees, bro, earned his rank. The Lord called Judas Maccabees to do his work. And you know how you know the Lord called Judas Maccabees? Because there was a bunch of wannabes, like us essays say, a bunch of wannabes, a bunch of perpetrators who tried to do the same thing as Maccabees did. And you know what happened to them? They were put to death, bro.
Right.
They were killed. Their whole camps were murdered on that same night. No different than what the Aztecs were doing. No different than what our ancestors were doing. Maccabees, the Lord called them in the year, I don't know what. And the Lord said, Maccabees, your camp, your people, your children are going to be the ones to help. And he called them. And every single fight that Maccabees had, he won. He brandished people out. Went into the Greek cities, Macedonia, and you know what he did? He burned their goddamn temples down. And you know what? The Lord was with him, and he did that. You know what? Today, just like in the Aztec days, just like in the Maccabees days, just like when the Lord called his people to do his things, the Lord has called a certain people to do his thing. And that's us right here in the ISUPK. The Lord has called us out to do this work. And I've chosen to be in this camp, the Salakia, in this school. I have chosen to be in this school to educate myself and bring out this truth. And the Lord is with me, with my son, with my family, with my son-in-law, and with his family. I'm a whole family in this truth. It's not only me. I ain't some lone ranger in here. My whole family is in this truth. And just like me, I know other families that are in this truth. And they're all Ishikarites, Native Indian, and Judite brothers. And we're in this truth. And we're in here to bring our brothers out. And let me tell you something. I'm bringing out historical points. That's what I'm doing. You know why? Because right now, Latin America needs us, bro. Right now, Latin America is bleeding. Our people are dying. Venezuela is starving. Their people are in war. That earthquake has destroyed our brothers in Venezuela. And you know what? No one has lifted a voice to help our people out. Right. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. We need to speak up. You know why we need to speak up? We need to speak up because our people need us. Because our people, the Latin American, they need us, man. They need people like us. They need people in America, in the ISUPK, to speak this truth. You know why? Because it just so happens that everything that happens in America just so happens to blow up all over the world. Isn't that right? Right. And let me tell you something. Let me go a little bit deeper than that, right? I'm going to go deeper than that. I'm going to bring out some history that I know that comes from the music industry, all right? Let me bring out some history from the music industry. Hip-hop started in the Bronx. Hip-hop started in Harlem. That's where it started. That's the root of what the main industry is all about. And you know what? Mexicanos and Negros, Latinoamericanos, we started that movement. And this movement that's known as the Israelite movement is coming from the same root as that. That's how you know that if it's coming from the ghetto, man, it's real. The Lord has chosen people from the ghetto, the lowest people. He has chosen to push this forward. And all of us Issacharites, Yashikar, and Zebulonites, and all of us in here, man, it's our duty to step up and bring our people to this truth. ¿Sabes por qué? Porque nuestra gente es una gente fuerte, es una gente de espíritu, es una gente que tiene verdad. Y nuestra lengua es la lengua que va a sacar a nuestra gente del problema en el que está ahorita. Mexico has a new president. But you know what? Mexico has never been right. Mexico's always been right by, you know what? By Spaniards. We've been doing this with help from another nation. How come we don't complain about another nation running our governments? How come we don't complain about white people running our neighborhoods? How come we don't complain about white people raising our rents or gentrifying our neighborhoods or pushing us out of Boyle Heights or Lincoln Heights or El Sereno or downtown LA? But yet we want to speak out about us, ISUPK, who's trying to help our brothers come together. We're over here speaking unity, but yet everybody is speaking about separation, and yet we're the ones who are in error. Tell me something. Why is it that we are the enemy? Why is it that we seem to be the one that's doing the wrong thing when you ain't doing nothing but going through this daily at your job, at your work, where you go to the market, where you live? Man, it's every day, but yet we're the enemy? Come on now. That sounds like ignorance to me. That sounds like someone who refuses to understand that you're being oppressed, but yet you'll come up against your brother. You'll come up against the Black, the Hispanic, the Native American Indian, talking about the Hispanics are not from the tribes, talking about the Black people shouldn't be running, talking about the Native Indian is half-breeds. You know what I'm saying? But yet the people that are damaging you, the people that are destroying you, you ain't got a goddamn thing to say. Let me tell you something. For all those people who continue to say that, you're as bad as the goddamn cholos that run your neighborhood. You know why? Because the cholo who ran your neighborhood was killing your own brother for going on his turf, for writing on his goddamn wall, for going into his neighborhood. But when the goddamn white man went in there and raised your rent, raised your bill, gentrified your neighborhood, took your family out, dropped the housing, built apartments, where the hell were they at? How come they didn't go down to City Hall and say, hey man, we're the cholos from this neighborhood and we ain't with you gentrifying my hood, bro. This is my territory. Where the hell were they at? How come they didn't go and raise a voice for what was happening to their neighborhoods? Well, let me tell you something. You're just as bad as them, bro. Right. If you're separating the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom, you might as well be a goddamn white man. You might as well have the spirit of the white man. Because you know what? None of these Mexicanos, cholos, you know, raza, went there to complain, stop gentrifying my neighborhood. You know who did? The old ladies who lived there. The business owners. The fucking little kids. They were out marching in Boyle Heights on 1st Street, talking about don't gentrify my neighborhood. But not a single goddamn cholo who was driving around with a gun in his car, in a goddamn lowrider, with all his fucking gang-banging brothers. None of them came out to say the same thing. None of them came out to say, hey man, don't gentrify my neighborhood. None of them, bro. So why the hell are you speaking up when you ain't doing nothing to unite our people? What crown are you wearing that allows you to separate us when you cannot unite us. You know what I'm saying? You got any precepts on that? And let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you, man. The truth is that without the ISUPK, bro, you wouldn't know what this truth was. Because the Lord started the school in 1969, and he brought on the Spirit on these brothers, and he said that that was going to be the name. And to this day, that's the name that's being used. So let me tell you something. There is no doubt in my mind that if the Lord has chosen something, why should we dishonor it? Why should we go and call something else that's not? Why should we be giving ourselves a name that's not our name? Or why should we be calling on other people that are not looking to bring us together? You know what I'm saying? The Most High Yahweh has chosen, has labeled, has given us a truth. Let's honor it. Man, let me tell you something, brother. General Yohana did not make up this school. General Yohana did not name it ISUPK. General Yohana did not make up this truth. General Yohana didn't do none of that. You know who did that? The Lord did that. The Lord called these people to this truth. You know what I'm saying? The Lord taught this truth. General Yohana took it. And you know what? He continued this same truth. Let me tell you something. I'm going to prove it to you. General Yohana said, we can't be with white people. The ISUPK in 1969 said, separate from white people. ISUPK in 1969 said, white people are not Israelites, and we should have nothing to do with them. General Yohana today in our time is continuing to teach white people shouldn't be part of the ISUPK. And you know what? The 12 tribes are all Negroes, brown people. And I say the word Negro because it's in the Bible. That's why I say Negro, bro. I don't say black, I say Negro. Simeon in the book of Acts was a Negro. That's who he was. He was a Negro of the tribe of Judah. Barabbas, or who was that?
Barnabas.
Barnabas, in the same phrase, he was a Benjamin. Oh no, he was a Levite. I'm sorry, Salakia. He was a Levite. That's who he was. That's who he was. So let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you why it's important to stick on this truth. Because you know what? Today, we're teaching what it is. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. It's very simple. Today, like I'm in the ISUPK, and let me tell you something. General Yohana, Captain Mashat, General Muhammad, you know what? They speak up for the Ishikarites, brother. They go out there. I've been in camp with them. I've been there at camp when they're out there saying that how could you hate on the Mexican brothers? How can you hate on Issachar? How can you hate on Zebulun when they're part of the 12 tribes of Israel? This man out of his own mouth honors our people. And he pushes that we all need to unite as one. Let me tell you something. GOCC's got white people in their camp. And that brother came out of our camp. And you know, out of our school. And you know what? He's changed what was taught. And he's teaching something new. That's what he's teaching, something new. And let me tell you, IUIC is teaching something new. You know what IUIC is teaching? That all our brothers, if you have a warrant, you should be turned into the police. That you're worth more to them being turned in than being in camp because you have a warrant. Money is more important to them than brotherhood. That's what it is. If you got a precept, bring it out.
1 John chapter 2 and verse 19. They went out from us, but they were not of us.
What is it?
They went out from us.
They went out from us. They went out from this school. But what?
But were not of us.
But they were not of us, bro. Let me tell you, you went out of here, but you were not of us, bro. You went out there and you started giving your own teachings. You started talking about other things. You started telling people that this was okay, that that was okay, that if you ate pork, it was okay, that if you slept with your brother's woman, it was all okay, that if you were this, it was okay, that if you got a tattoo, it was okay. Let me tell you something. You're out preaching something different, bro. You are not of us. You were never of us. You are of your own accord. You are of your own teaching. You are not of the Lord. Let me tell you something. In 1969, before 1969, there was no Israelites. Everybody was some nonsense.
Right.
In 1969, the Lord's Spirit came onto the earth, just the way it is in the Bible. And he spread this Spirit and woke up his people. Who were the first ones that were going to wake up? Judah would wake up first, because that's what the Bible teaches. Judah will wake up first. Bring that precept up. Judah would wake up first. That's who was going to be awoken before everybody else. That's who was going to come and bring to light that the black, the Hispanic, and the Native American Indian was Israelites. And let me tell you something. The 12 tribes chart was made in 1969. And in 1969, that chart read Issachar Mexicans. That's what that chart read. Yeah, there was no Mexicans in the ISUPK in 1969. You know why? Because they were thinking like a lot of Issacharites today. They were thinking, we don't need to be in there. We can go start our own shit. We can go be our own people. That's why. That's why, even though on the chart it said Asher was everybody, Issachar was these people, Zebulun was these people, our people chose to ignore that chart in those days. Today, the Lord's Spirit, he didn't care. The Lord said, you know what? I'm going to set this chart up, and in the future, you're all going to recognize who you are. Let me tell you something. I'm that future. I've been in this truth just a few years. I recognize that. I recognize that the Lord started in 1969. That's why I'm here in this school. That's why I'm part of the ISGPK. That's why I'm an officer here. Because, man, you ain't going to fool me. I ain't going to argue about that. In 1969, Abba Bivens was given that revelation of who the 12 tribes were. Man, I'm with that, bro. I'm with that. I'm with that revelation that was given to that brother. If he said that we were of the 12 tribes, I believe it 100%. Who am I? I am a nobody to go and change that. Who am I to separate the black, Hispanic, and the Native American Indian? I am nobody. Who am I to change the law, statutes, and commandments? I'm a nobody, bro. I have no followers. I have nobody. You know what? I'm a nobody, bro. I'm just a student learning everything I can learn from the original school that started all this. That's who I am. That's who I am. I am an Issacharite in this truth that was started in 1969. I will not settle for anything less, bro. And I will not be some lone ranger trying to be some truth that no one gives a damn about. I won't have 2 or 3 followers that think, oh, okay, you're right, and give myself props for that. No way, brother. I'm here to bring out the truth. Chariash knows it. Herman Overstreet knows it. Shadow Rock, my Akim knows it. We all know where the truth is at. The truth is right here in the ISUPK. For all those brothers trying to spread a lie, man, I ain't mad at you, bro. I understand what it is. I understand that jealousy is a hard pill to swallow, bro. And you know, the pride is a hard thing to let go. Marwakas, you know, that's what it is, you know. We have pride, man. I'm gonna tell you something. There ain't nobody more prideful than Mexicans, bro. You know what? In a fight, man, we don't give a damn. Man, we'll go out there. We'll knock it out. We don't give a damn, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how prideful we are. Hey, man, you know what? Nosotros somos raza. You know what I'm saying? con mucho, you know what I'm saying? Con muchos huevos, man. That's who we are. We're that raza. We will never back down. That's why, who are the two top fighters in the ring? Issachar and Judah. Because we the same, man. We will not, man, we will not let it go. We'll be there till the end. You know what I'm saying? That's what we are. That's the people that we are. That's the strength that the Lord has put upon us, man. You know what I'm saying? Without a doubt, we will always be those people. No one can take anything from us. You know what I'm saying? Did you have a precept?
I mean, I have one. I'm not sure that one's it.
Go ahead.
But in Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 7, the Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first.
See that? The Lord will save the tents of Judah first. Read.
That the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah.
Let me tell you something. We should not read it again.
The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first.
Let me tell you something. The Lord will save the tents of Judah first. Read.
That the glory of the house of David.
The glory of the house of David. That's the Judites. Read.
And the glory.
And the who?
And the glory.
And the who?
And the glory.
And the glory of who?
Of the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
And the inhabitants of Jerusalem. That's all of us. The northern kingdom. Read.
Do not.
Do what?
Do not.
Do what?
Do not.
Do not, bro. Read.
Magnify themselves.
Magnify ourselves. What is magnify? To make ourselves bigger, bro. To make ourselves above Judah. To make ourselves better than Judah. To magnify ourselves. Read.
Do not magnify themselves against Judah.
Against Judah, bro. Now, that's not me reading. What's that? What precept is that?
That's Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 7.
Zechariah 12 and 7, bro. Issachar, Zebulun, Levi, Benjamin. Do not magnify yourself above Judah, bro. But what part don't you understand about that? What's the problem where you're not realizing what the Lord is saying? Yahweh comes from the bloodline of Judah. Let me tell you something.
Right.
If you think that you don't want to follow Judah, you got a problem, brother. Because when Yahweh comes back, our Lord,
right,
you're going to be serving a black man. Just
right,
like the black people here in America, the Judites.
Right.
That's what the Bible says. None of this is coming from me. I'm just filling in history. But I'm telling you what the Bible says. Make it clear, brother. The next time you go out and say that we should not let Judah be above us, you remember this precept. What is it?
Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 7. The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first.
So the Lord will save the tents of Judah first.
That the glory of the house of David.
The glory of the house of David. That's Judah.
And the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
The inhabitants of Jerusalem are all the other tribes. Read.
Do not.
Do what?
Do not.
We do not. Read.
Magnify themselves.
Magnify meaning put yourself above, glorify, make yourself bigger. Read.
Themselves against Judah.
Against Judah, bro. What part don't you understand about that? What part don't you understand that Issachar should not glorify itself above Judah? What part do you not understand that you should not take heed of what Judah tells you? Which is the part that you don't understand? Which is the part that you don't understand when the Lord is speaking out of this book that tells you that Judah is going to come out and take us and show us the way and bring us out of captivity? Which
Right.
is the part that you don't understand, right?
Right.
Now, let me tell you something. I'm going to call them camps because that's what they are. They're camps, bro. Other camps out there are speaking what ISUPK speaks. But you know what? They're just copycats. They're just repeating what the ISUPK has already taught since 1969.
Right.
You're going out there and getting secondhand smoke. You're going out there and getting backwash. You're going out there and getting the duplicate of what the ISUPK has taught from the very beginning. That's what it is. So let me tell you something. They are a knockoff of what the ISUPK is, because that's what it is. That's what it is. And let me tell you something. The way it's speaking right now, Israel is all the other tribes, and Judah is Yahweh Shai, our Lord. Judah is King David. Judah is King Solomon. King Solomon, King David, Yahweh Shai. And Israel is all the other tribes. What part don't you understand? What part is not being translated to you correctly? I'll tell you what part. The part where your spirit is so bent on your own self, on your own glory, on glorifying your own self, that you refuse to understand the words of the Lord, that you refuse to understand what the Bible is telling you. Not what I'm telling you, bro, because I'm just a goddamn stupid Mexicano, bro. You know, in this truth. That's all I am. Yo no soy nadie. You know what I'm saying? But what part don't you understand that the Lord is telling you? You know what you need to do? You need to come into the ISUPK, come into my classes, come here with me, sit around this table with all my other homies right here, and you know what? Just cherish the moment that we are the Latinos that are going to bring all our brothers out of the world and into the real truth. That me and you are going to grow in this truth, and we're going to be the leaders for the Latinos, the Ishikarites, the Zebulonites, and all my brothers. And we're going to bring them all out, brother. And you know what? They're going to see us, and they're going to be like, damn, those brothers right there are held tight. Amongst all these black brothers, amongst all these Negroes, among all these Levites and Benjamites, they were the few. They were the chosen. That's who we are. That's what we are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, let me tell you something. I am the one who's going to serve Yahweh Shai. That's who I am. I'm going to stay on here, and whatever the Bible says, that's what I'm going to do. When the Lord comes back, he's going to look at me, and he's going to be like, you know, I may not look like you, but I serve you. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. Vicente Guerrero. Do you know who Vicente Guerrero is? Come on now, for all you smart Mexicans out there. Who is Vicente Guerrero? Right? Who is this man? Who is Vicente Guerrero? I'll tell you who Vicente Guerrero is. Vicente Guerrero was the second president of Mexico. And you know what? Vicente Guerrero did not look like all the other Mexicans, bro.
Right.
Vicente Guerrero, when all the other Mexicans looked at him, they were like, who the hell is this guy? You know why? Because Vicente Guerrero was black.
Right.
Vicente Guerrero is that word that you use, mestizo. Así era Vicente Guerrero. El estado de Guerrero, donde está Acapulco, is named after this man. And you know what? His father hated him. Well, I'm not going to say he hated him, but he just didn't have his same thoughts. Do you know why? Because his father was on the Spaniard side. His father told Vicente Guerrero, Vicente, you know what? Stop this revolution and just go turn yourself into these Spaniards, bro. Just go over there, and they're going to give you, you know, land, and they're going to give you, what is that? A gift? Give me that. They told Vicente Guerrero, his father, bro, this is historical. You're on the internet. I know you are. Go on Google search. Vicente Guerrero. Right now, bro. Do it. Don't listen to me. Do it. His father told him, Vicente, ven, trégate. Go turn yourself in. Go, because you know what? They're going to give you riches. They're going to give you land. They're gonna help you out. That's what they told Vicente Guerrero. You got it? Let me tell you what Vicente Guerrero's problem was. Or maybe not. Read.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 7.
Ecclesiastes 7 and 7. Read.
Surely oppression.
Surely oppression. Read.
Maketh a wise man mad.
Man, that's what made Guerrero mad. Oppression, bro.
Right.
He was being oppressed. He saw his people were being oppressed. He saw that black people were being oppressed. His indigenous brothers and sisters were being oppressed by the French, by the Spanish, by the Americans. They were oppressing his people. Read.
And a gift.
And a gift. And the what?
And a gift.
And the what?
And the gift.
Let me tell you something. That Mercedes-Benz you got, that house you got, that Lolo you got, that good job you got, that fine clothes you got. Read.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
Destroyeth the heart, bro. Vicente Guerrero knew que si él se daba de vencer a los españoles, como le dijo su padre, y se iba y se entregaba, él sabía que los españoles le iban a dar regalos y lo iban a mantener muy bien y le iban a dar tierras y que él iba a poder vivir muy bien. Y ese era el regalo que le iban a dar a Vicente Guerrero. Vicente Guerrero was going to be a man who was going to turn himself into the Spaniards, like his father was asking him to do, and that he was going to receive gifts, and that he was going to hold a high position and have land, and his children were going to live well. His generations were going to live well. But you know what Vicente Guerrero did? He turned it down. He never gave in. He said, you know what? I will never turn my people in. I will never. Vicente Guerrero dijo, ¿sabes qué? Nunca me voy a entregar. Nunca me voy a dar por vencido. Nunca voy a entregar mi gente. Nunca voy a dar esta revolución a esos perros. Not like that, but I'm just adding, right? Let me tell you something. Vicente Guerrero did not turn himself in. Instead, he fought that revolution and he won thousands, well, I'm going to say few fights, right? I'm going to say hundreds, but he won his fights, man. He won. He did not turn himself in. He turned his back on his father. Give me that precept that we will turn our backs on our fathers. That we will turn ourselves on our fathers and our brothers and our sisters. Let me tell you something. This man turned himself against his father. He decided he was not going to turn himself into the Spaniard. Él decidió nunca venderse. Él decidió nunca entregarse a los españoles. Él decidió seguir la revolución. This man was put to death, bro. Yeah. This man was put to death. This man lost his revolutionary fight. But you know what? His name is honorable, bro. His name continues in honor. I honor that man, Vicente Guerrero. I see, man, you know what? I want to die like him. If my father doesn't want to come into this truth, I don't give a damn. I'm going to die for my people. I'm going to stay in this truth, and I'm going to die for the Black, the Hispanic, and the Native American Indian. Vicente Guerrero is an honor for all Hispanics and Latino Americanos, that this man died like that. I mentioned a little while ago another revolutionist. What was his name? It'll come back to me. Because I run through a lot of history, man. You know, my brain is just spitting out all these historical people. You know what I mean? But let me tell you something. This man decided he was not going to give up his revolutionary, all his people. Man, let me tell you something. Vicente Guerrero was accepting Black people from America into Mexico.
Right.
That's what he was doing.
Runaway slaves.
Runaway slaves he was accepting into Mexico. And he abolished, during his presidency, slavery in Mexico.
Right.
That's what this man did. He abolished slavery in Mexico against all the odds, against his own family telling him, you know what? Yeah, man, just side with the Spaniards, bro. They're going to give you treasures. They're going to give you everything. You got that?
The book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 53.
Luke 12 and 53. Read.
The father shall be divided against the son.
The father shall be divided against the son. Read.
And the son against the father.
And the son against the father. Let me tell you something. When you do the right thing, when you're in the ISUPK and you decide to uphold the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, man, you're going to turn your fathers against you. You're going to turn your brothers against you. Read.
The mother against the daughter.
Read.
And the daughter against the mother.
Read.
The mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. Is that the one you look for?
That's the one I'm looking for. You know what it is? Your family's going to come against you.
Right.
Let me tell you something. This man, Guerrero, decided that he was going to turn against his father. His father told him, go ahead, bro. Go ahead, son. Just go to the Spaniard, turn yourself in, and get those riches for you and your family, for all of us. You know what? Vicente Guerrero, being a black man, decided, hell no. I'm rising up for my people, the Hispanics, the native Indians in Mexico. And you know what? I'm going to honor my people, and I'm going to die like this. He died a poor man. He didn't give a damn. You know why? Because first in his book was his people. That's what it was. His people. And you know what? That's the way it is here. I'm in the ISUPK because I'm going to die for my people. Yeah, I'm on the orders. I'm on the orders of people above me. Man, I'm on the orders of my son, who is younger than me, but holds higher rank than me. But you know what? That don't matter to me. You know why? Because I'm under orders. I follow what the Lord has said to do. And that's the way we should all be. Right. And let me tell you something. Hispanics, we some hard, cold, hard-headed people. You know, we have a lot of honor, you know, but not enough to turn against the Lord. The Lord says that this is the way it's going to be, and this is the way it has to be. And this truth is that's why I'm here. Let me tell you something. I wouldn't be nowhere else. Just like everybody else, when I first started, I was looking at a lot of, camps. I was looking through everybody. I was searching for truth. But you know what? When I learned about the ISUPK, let me tell you something. There was no doubt in my mind, not for a moment, that this here was where it's coming from. That this here is the fountain of education and the fountain to edify yourself and the fountain to bring out what you need to do to bring out your people out of the destruction that they're in. And let me tell you once again, in our time, for the Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian, there's no time to waste. It's time to come into this truth and bring our people forward. Because you know what? Our people need us.
Right.
Latino Americanos, Hispanos, all of my people from Ishikarites and Zebulonites and Asher and all the other tribes, man, let me tell you something. It's time that we come out and we speak out, because look at what's happening to our people today. What's that place that I told you that's having a terrible time right now?
Nicaragua.
Nicaragua. Man, have you seen Nicaragua today? Have you seen what our people from Nicaragua are going through? Have you seen the destruction that has come on our people of Nicaragua? Latino America is under destruction, man. Mexico, Nicaragua, Venezuela, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala. Man, our people are under destruction right now. And you know why? Because we've refused to follow the Lord. Renard, you're absolutely right. The Lord says, gather ourselves together. You got that precept? Zephaniah, bring it out. Because that's what's important today. That's what needs to be done today. Let me tell you something. This separation of blacks and Hispanics is nonsense. This separation of Hispanics going their own way and blacks going their own way and do all this, nonsense. Let me tell you something. The Lord is telling us over and over that this here is the right time. This is the time and the place. This is the spirit that's being called out. And I'm sending this message to all my brothers and sisters, all the Black, the Hispanic, and the Native American Indian. This is not my spirit calling you. This is the spirit of our ancestors who have been destroyed. And we are our ancestors who have been hung, destroyed, robbed, raped, and murdered. And today we're calling out once again to come out and unify ourselves and come together as one under the Lord. The ISUPK has brought that together. And that's where we need to be. What is that?
Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1.
Zephaniah 2 and 1.
Gather yourselves together.
Who?
Gather yourselves together.
Gather yourself together, man. That's gather yourself, not you, not Issachar, not Zebulon, not any in particular, but all of us. Read.
Yeah, yea, yes, like it. Yea, gather together.
He says it twice to us.
Right.
He tells us the first time, gather yourselves together. Then he says, yes. Yea means yes. Yes, gather yourselves together. Read.
O nation, not desired.
Oh, nations not desired. Let me tell you something. You know you're not desired. You know that the Chinese don't like you, black woman. You know that when you go do your nails, they don't like you. They want your money, but they hate you. You know why? You know why you don't know they're talking about you? Because you don't know Chinese. But if you knew Chinese, when they're sitting there, they're talking about you. They're saying everything they can think of. How nasty your feet are, how dark you are, how black you are, how loudmouth you are, how disgusting you are. That's what they're saying about you. That's what they're talking about you. Mexican, when you go into that store and you're going to go buy your stuff, you know what and I see them. Let me tell you, right here in my neighborhood, it says La Tiendita Mexicana. And I go in there and it's a goddamn Chinese running that place.
Right.
Dice Los Taquitos Mexicanos. And when I go in there, it's a goddamn Chinese man running that place. I go down into Huntington Park. Y dice allí Los Tres Hermanos. And it's a goddamn Arab selling me shoes and boots and hats and clothing. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those are the people who have taken over our businesses, putting their name on it. And when you go in there, you're a stinking Mexican.
Right.
Eres un perro. You know, you're a goddamn wetback. You're going over there and cutting their grass. I hope this wetback hurries up and leaves. Because that's the way they see us. When you're out there in their restaurants, working, you know what? Hurry up and work, and they cut your pay. They don't want to give you vacation pay. They don't even want to give you vacation days. You know what I'm saying? You work extra hours. They don't want to pay you those extra hours. You know what I'm saying? You're hustling, and they want you to hustle even more. You know what I'm saying? That's what they think about you. That's how they see you. You know why they hire you? Because in their eyes, you need a goddamn job. Right. Because you got 20 kids. Because you live with your uncles and your brothers and your sisters and everybody else. So you need to be here. You're lucky I gave you a goddamn job. That's the way they see us. The black man, that's the way they see you. The Mexican man, that's the way they see you. The native Indian, you know what? He knows better. He doesn't want to even go work for them. But you know what? They have them on the reservations. You know what? And what did they give? I'll tell you what they gave the native Indian. They gave them chicken pox, rotten meat, diseased blankets. They gave them liquor. They destroyed their land. They dumped all their nuclear waste on their land. That's what they did to them. They put them in boarding schools, took away their language, took away their culture, took away everything from these people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what they did to these people. And that's why they do that to us today. Because to them, we're nobodies, man. We're the what? We're the nation
that is not desired.
That is not desired. That's who we are. We're a nation not desired. We're a nation of people that are like that. Let me tell you, for all you Ishikarites, Cheyo and Stephanie and Elohim, right? All of my people out there, Felipe. I'm gonna tell you something. Chariash, Marwakas. Let me tell you something. Maraquas. Let me tell Salakia. Let me tell you something. In the 1930s, they had the Repatriation Act. The 1930s, President Eisenhower deported not only Mexican, but Mexican-American people back to Mexico. And let me tell you something. Mexican-American people, so-called chicanos, they had never lived in Mexico.
Right.
They did not know what life was like in Mexico. Man, if you don't know this history, a lot of Mexican-American people were dumped off at the Rio Grande on the other side of the border, and they died in the desert. Their families couldn't go deep into Mexico, so what did they do? They set up camp right there in the desert. They lived in their cars. They lived however they could. And you know what? Entire families were dying in the desert on the other side of the Rio Grande. And you know what? Americans didn't give a damn. You know what? Our people were dying in the deserts there without food, without water. And you know what the sad part is? You know those Mexicans that are talking about separate blacks and Mexicans today? That's what the Mexican people were like back then. They didn't give a damn about Chicanos. You don't speak our language, you don't belong here. And you know what? They didn't put out a helping hand to help them for nothing.
Right.
Many Chicanos, thousands of families died in the desert. You know what else they did? They would pack them in boats. You know what kind of boats? Not no cruise ships. They were putting them in those containers that they shipped bananas in. In the 1930s, they were bringing bananas in those cargo ships to America and then bringing the cargo ship back to Mexico full of Mexican Americans and Mexicans and dumping them off wherever they could. Central America, Mexico, wherever they could dump them. This is history you never hear about. But you know what? Look it up. Look up that history of, who did you mention? The United Fruit Company. Look up the history of the United Fruit Company, and you'll find the history of what I'm talking about. You know why they never mention this history? It's not convenient.
Right.
Let me tell you something. The show that I do is called An Inconvenient Truth. You know why it's called The Inconvenient Truth? Because this truth is not convenient for certain people. The white people hate to hear me speak. You know why? Because I speak truth. That's why when I'm out on the streets of Hollywood and I start speaking, there's always a devil who comes up against me.
Right.
Violently. You know why? Because they don't want to hear me. They don't want to hear what I got to say about the Vietnam War and how blacks and Hispanics decided to turn against American soldiers, American colonels and generals who were sending them out to walk point.
Right.
And you know what the blacks were doing? They were fed up with dying. So what did they do? They started killing them in the fields. That's what they did. Once again, an inconvenient truth. They don't want to hear this, but this is a truth that we carry here in the ISUPK.
Right.
And you know what? It's an important truth. And you know what? Sometimes it's important to log in and hear this because I may be rambling on, but let me tell you something. I have none of this written down. You know what it is? My spirit comes back. My spirit was probably in the times of the Vietnam War. My spirit was probably in the times of the conquest of Mexico. My spirit was probably in the time of Israel when we were a nation. And you know what? My spirit probably remembers everything that we went through, just like yours does. That's why when you hear these words, you recognize that we're speaking truth. Because you know what? It reaches the soul. It reaches that part of you that understands that what we're speaking of in the ISUPK is nothing but truth. And that's why we're here. We're here because we will not forget what happened to us. We will not forget what they've done to our children, to our grandparents, to our ancestors. We're here to remind us and not forget that we got to continue speaking to our people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why we're here. Because let me tell you, I care about my people from Ishikarites. I care about my people, the Zebulonites. I care about my people, the Judites, the Levites. And I tell the history of the Puerto Ricanos, what are the Puerto Ricanos? Ephraim, the Ephraimites, Salakia, my Puerto Rican brothers, the Ephraimites. You know what? We know the history. I don't bring it all because it's too much to talk about. Pero déjate digo, you know what's important? It's important that when a brother comes out, when the spirit touches a brother, and he's speaking things to you that sound reasonable, that sound like, you know what, this is not no bias. We're not talking anything, no nonsense. We're not trying to turn anybody against anybody. We're speaking the truth. The truth is that if the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom come together, we're going to be a strong people to deal with. You know why? Because there ain't nobody stronger than us, man. Separate, once again, we've done nothing, bro. In the 1960s movement of the Chicanos, it did nothing for us. We're still in the same situation. You know what? I was talking to a Chicano brother who told me, oh, well, you know, when the Chicano movement, we went through that education thing. We won that. We were able to free our kids and get the right education. We were no longer the way we were. Let me tell you something. They don't teach Chicano history in schools.
Right.
They don't teach Native Indian history in schools. They don't teach the Chicano struggle in school. Then where did we win? How is that they're saying that the Chicano struggle won? Where did we win? We didn't win a goddamn thing, because we're still being taught lies in our high schools. We're still being taught lies in our elementary schools. We're still being taught lies in our colleges. We ain't being taught no truth. We're not being taught anything that has anything to do with truth. We're being taught the lies of the colonial mind of the white man, and the colonial mind of the Latino, who's been colonized and who continues with the history that is not of their own. So where did we win? Same with the black man. The Black Panther movement, the what is that? The social movement, the uprise of the black man. Ooh, we're free, Martin Luther King. Yeah, then why are you still being shot in the street?
Right.
Why is the police still pulling you over because you're black? How come you're still being used in the football fields and the baseball fields and the basketball fields as a goddamn puppet to make money for the rich man? How come you're still being portrayed as a drug dealer, as a robber, as a criminal? Why is the Mexican still being called a wetback? Why is Puerto Rico still doesn't have water? Still its economy hasn't lifted up. It's still in the same condition since the day it was destroyed. Why is El Salvador still being haunted by the gangs that were sent there by America? Why is Mexico still being destroyed by the Fast and the Furious? The what?
The gun walking.
The gun walking, the gun trafficking that America did into Mexico. Why is that still happening? Why is that still being perpetrated in our country? How come we still have, why is the American Indian still living on reservations when they had the American Indian movement? I'll tell you why. Because none of those movements ever worked. That's why we're still in the condition that we're in. Because none of that has ever worked. Cheyo Ishikar, I got your message. I'm going to make sure to answer everything at the end. Okay? So don't think I'm ignoring anybody. Let me tell you something. We're still in the condition that we're in. Why? Because we've been destroyed. But now, this time that the Lord has pulled His Spirit on all of us, let me tell you something. That's the awakening. This is the awakening of the bones that were once dead. The walking dead will wake up, and we will rise up again with our brothers, the Black and Native Indian. And you know what? We will once again control what was ours, because the Lord is going to bring us here. That's what it's going to be. We're running out of time here. You know, it's 54. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, being with us, and staying on our topic. We went through a lot today. I want to thank everybody who was out there. If you have any questions, any comments, go ahead and post them up, man. I'm going to take a minute to kind of cross with everybody and kind of talk to a few of my folks out there who are tuning in, and just try to bring a little bit out. Anything you got to say, anything you have in mind, you know, right now is the time. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Remember, every Wednesday we're here, bringing out the truth. ISUPK, home of the truth. That's why we're here. We're here to bring our brothers together, the Northern Kingdom, the Southern Kingdom. Bring us all together that we may all be able to spread this truth and bring our brothers out. You know what I'm saying? Cheyo, I do have a YouTube, Kazagyad, Latin America, ISUPK, Latino America, ISUPK on YouTube. We stream on there. We stream on mine. It's not always working. You know, the white man's the devil the Bible speaks of. Sometimes our stuff goes down. We don't know why, but we're still trying to stay on. You know, everybody out there, I'm filling in for Officer Lahab today on his channel, bringing out the truth. But we're glad everybody was able to participate. Like I said before, if you have any questions, anything to say, you know, go ahead and post it up. We're watching you. We want to stay in touch with you. You know, during the week, watch our classes. Everybody on UPK always posts classes. We're out here to teach our brothers and sisters. that Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, that we are the children of the Most High. And that, you know, we're going to get out of this captivity that we're in, and the Lord is going to come back. He's going to bring earthquakes. He's going to bring destruction. He's going to bring a war. He's going to bring all these destructions on America. But if you're part of the Lord's army, the ISUPK, you're going to be safe, man. You're going to be able to go past all this, and nothing's going to happen to you.
Right.
That's what it's going to be like. That's why we're here. That's why we teach our children to be like that too. Because you know what? We know that this is the place where it's going to be at. We know that this is where the Lord is going to find, this is where we're going to find refuge with the Lord. We want to remind everybody, man, I'm going to invite everybody. You know, we're almost out of time. Invite everybody. You know, California is having their annual ISUPK barbecue, you know, coming in November 17th. Look out for our flyers. Stay in touch. We're inviting everybody to come down, have a great time here. We got a great week planned out for everybody. So come on in and join us. We're going to be able to celebrate and come together. General Johanna is going to be here. Right. Hopefully Captain Shah, General Mahaiman for sure. You know, we do it every year. We're inviting everybody to come down and participate with us. We have a great lineup this year, man. We're going to have a great time. Please join us. Contact us out here. Captain Gadahar is in charge of the event. So go ahead and contact Captain Gadahar out here in California. Make sure you get some tickets ahead of time. Make sure you book a flight and get a room out here. You're going to have a great time, man. California is waiting for you. You know, people may hate people from California, but you're going to love the ISUPK out here. You know what I'm saying? You're going to love us. We're out here for everybody out here, man. We're out here to bring in a great time. Once again, if you have any questions right now for the class, you know, go ahead and type them up. I'm going to try to get in with you and you know, cross some questions out there. Type them up. We got a few minutes left. You know, go ahead and type them up. I'll answer any questions you may have, any comments you may have. You know, that's what we're here for. We're here to exchange with everybody. You know, come into the ISUPK, do your 30 days, wear your black. Oh, your 90 days, Salakia. Do your 90 days wearing black. Come on in. You know, become part of our school. You know, we teach here. We uplift our people. We want, you know, Issachar and all the tribes to come together, and we want to teach unity. That's what we're here for. You know, we're here to show love and brotherhood. We're here for our brothers and sisters, man. That's what we're here for. Right. So don't be afraid to, you know, call us up. If you're in California, you know, we have classes on Wednesdays. Come over, join our class, be in our class, you know, experience this. You know, we exchange questions here too, you know, if you want. So come on in and join us. You know, if no further questions, no one has any further questions, it's already time. We're going to end this class. I want to thank everybody for joining, everybody for tuning in. Check out my other classes that we had on. You know, once again, ISUPK, ISUPK.com, ISUPK California. Join us every Wednesday. Join Captain Ashap Orion's class every Wednesday too at what time? At 2 o'clock, at 4 o'clock, or at 4 o'clock. You know what I'm saying?
4 o'clock Pacific time, 7 o'clock Eastern time.
So yeah, you know, did you see that? Did you see that Daryl Weekly? But that's why he's got a name like Weak. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the weak people. That's weak people who call in. You know what I'm saying? They got to post a comment like, "I'm weak. I'm Daryl. I'm weak." You know, because I don't know the truth. You know, come on into the ISUPK. We're here to make men, not weak folks. You know what I'm saying? Right. We're here to bring out our people, the Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian. You know what I'm saying? This is the inconvenient truth. Every week, you know, I come here. I make sure that the Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian know that the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. Yo soy mexicano, soy del tribu de Issachar. Somos las 12 tribus de Israel. Estamos aquí para traer a nuestra gente y dejarles saber que nosotros somos los hijos del Todopoderoso. Para eso estamos aquí, para eso, digamos, para traer a nuestra gente a la verdad, que es la Escuela Israelita de Sabiduría Práctica Universal. Y con eso les vamos a decir, Tawara, muchas gracias. Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai Barakatah. Till next week, tune in. Well, brother, maybe the next time that you post something up, you should be a little bit smarter of how you open up your question, correct? You know, hey, how you doing? Shalom, to all my people out there. But you choose to come on and, and say some nonsense. So how am I going to answer you? I'm going to answer you how nonsense is brought up. So let me tell you. Brother, it's all good. If you want to go ahead and ask a question, that's what we're here for. We're here to answer questions. Ask them honestly. Ask them with good heart. Man, I'm here for my brothers, the Black, the Hispanic, and the Native American Indian. If you're Black, if you're Hispanic, you're Native American Indian, I consider you my brother. I'm not call you anything that you're not. You know what I'm saying? So you could easily, if you could easily call me something different, but you choose to open a conversation like that. Let me tell you something. I'm a sensible person. I'm a historian, bro. I tell it like it is. If you want to open up a conversation, I'm here every Wednesday. You're invited to come into my class always. I'm pretty sure that if you're a Black man, let me tell you something. I'm going to speak about your people the way it should be spoken about. If you're Hispanic, I'm going to speak about your people the way it should be spoken about. If you're Native American Indian, I'm going to speak about your people the way you should be spoken about. With respect, right? With truth and with honor. But if you're going to come in here and disrespect any of my brothers and sisters or any of my people in the 12 tribes of Israel, then you can expect for me to answer to you the way you're going to answer to me. So if you have any logical and real questions, then you can, you can answer the way it should be. A Masonic agenda. So let me tell you something. First of all, the Masonic agenda, that's okay. That's all right. I'm not upset with you, brother. Let me tell you something. I'm not upset with you because you know what? I don't even know you, bro. I don't hate you. I'm not upset with you. I don't see you anyway. I've only taken on the response of something that you posted. So this is not a personal attack. This is an attack of something that you posted. You could have posted anything, but you chose to put to post like that. So I answer you like that. The next time you want to address me, you address me the correct way. Like that, I can answer you the correct way with respect. That's what it is. As for now, you choose to see things in your own way. We are not an agenda. We are not no Masonics. We are the ISUPK. We're the ones who are here to wake up the Black, the Hispanic, and the Native American Indian that are going through some real difficult times, being shot on the street, being criminalized, being being deported, being destroyed. But you know what? That's why people like me with this spirit have to speak up to bring our brothers out, to help our brothers to realize that, you know what, the Black, the Hispanic, the Native American Indian, we're all having a problem. And you know how we're going to settle it? By coming together. By coming together and by speaking on this truth. So you say that I look white, but white, that's white, brother. You see that? That's white. See that? That's Black. I didn't call you Black. You a Negro if you are. You brown if you are. But I'm definitely not. See that? I'm not white. See that? So that's a whole different thing. What you need to do, brother, is you need to come into this truth. You need to log on to the classes of Captain Mashag, General Mahaiman, Commanding General Yohana, and start to learn the truth. Start to educate yourself. You know what I say? Decolonize your mind, because that's what you need to do. Re-educate yourself so that you no longer see things the way you see them, and that when you ask a question, you can ask a question correctly. When you want to know something, you know how to approach people so that they don't answer you like that. Let me tell you something. When I approach people, the first words that come out of my mouth, they understand that I'm educated. They understand that I know exactly what I'm going to say. And you know what's the worst thing? Is that they refuse to answer me afterwards because they already know that I'm going to educate them in every way it is, because they already know that the answer that came out of my mouth or the question that came out of my mouth was so goddamn reasonable that they have no answer to it. So I would say to you, brother, come into the ISUPK, learn about the Black, the Hispanic, and the Native American Indian. Learn the things that the tragedies that we're going through, the problems we're going through. Learn about the plight of the Black, the Hispanic, and the Native American Indian. Because right now, mi gente mexicana, mi gente de Latinoamérica are suffering. My gente from the Native American Indian is suffering. And I really ain't got no time to be addressing nonsense issues when there is serious issues to address. Let me tell you, today our class was specifically about what good is it to post up anything that doesn't get our people out of the condition that they're in? What good is it for you to post up some nonsense when it's not going to help our people get out of the condition that they're in? What good is it for me to say, oh, you know what, you're wearing some fake this or fake that, when that's not going to help my people get out of the condition that they're in?
Right.
What's important for us is to educate our people, not separate our people. The Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom need to understand that what's important right now is logical talk, real situations that are going to get us out, real comments, real heart that's going to help our people get out of the condition that they're in. A real, how could I say, a real gesture that's going to help you not get shot in the street. A real thing that's going to help my people not get pulled over by ICE and his family separated and his children so given to some white family, some goddamn white family that's going to dress him up like a girl the way they do black kids. Have you seen that? Have you seen how white families are getting black children and dressing them up like girls? These kids are 5 and 6 and 7-year-old, and they're parading them around malls and stores dressed like girls, and they're men. What's going to happen to those kids when they grow up? They're going to be homosexuals, bro. They're going to be what the white man wants them to be. My children, my Mexican people's children, are being separated in these camps, in these detainment centers, and they're being given to white people. Last year, 1,500 Mexican kids were lost. And you know what? They didn't find them. And has it ever occurred to you that they're selling livers and that they're selling parts of the children in the black market, and that there's a big market for that? And that they're doing that to my children, to my kids? Have it occurred to you that the Native American Indian is losing their land, and that they're bombing them with water and the cold and trying to disrupt their rallies because the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, and that they're giving, you know, diseases to our children on purpose, that they're diseasing our water in different areas, putting disease in our water, and that our children are dying. Let me tell you something, man. Our people need help. Our people need help because our people are being destroyed. And you know what we're doing? We're twerking. Our women are on the goddamn phone showing their bodies. Our men are out there dressing in skinny jeans. Our kids are out there shooting each other. Is that what's going to help us? Goddamn, no, it's not going to help us. I'll tell you what's going to help us. Educating ourselves. Coming into the ISUPK and re-educating ourselves. And learning that, you know what? We have a purpose. You know what our purpose is? To wake up our brothers and sisters. That's our purpose. If we die, who gives a damn if we die? As long as we woke up our brothers and sisters and bring them into the truth and let them know that they're important, that the Lord loves them, bro, and that they need to stop eating swine and being homosexuals and sleeping with other women and having one man and another man and another man and sleeping with your brother's wife and, you know, going against the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. That's what we need to educate ourselves. Ain't no time for us to be bickering between us. There ain't no time for that. Ain't no time for us to be calling each other names. You know what I'm saying? It's time for us to understand that, you know what? If your son or your daughter or your family member is sick and you believe in the Lord, that we need to come together and pray in the Hebrew, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need to know. We need to come together and teach ourselves respect. When we open up to our brothers and sisters, we need to come in and say, hey, man, you know what? Much love to you, brother. I'm going to tell you something. I don't hate any of my brothers. And I don't disrespect any of my brothers and sisters at all. I see a lot of nonsense on my Facebook. I got a lot of brothers and sisters. If you're one of them, if not, man, Kazakh Yard, log into my Facebook. I educate. I don't hate. Anything I post on it is all educational. A lot of brothers post up nonsense. I never respond to it. You know why I don't respond to it? Because it's nonsense, non-educational. It does not edify us in any way. I will not tolerate that. I do not answer to that. On the contrary, even though they're posting up this nonsense, I still don't take them off my Facebook. You know why? Because it's a source to educate my people. I'm not, I don't take Facebook as, oh, I live on it. I take it as it's the way I'm going to educate, as all the other sources that I have. And you know what? It's important. Because let me tell you something. Sometimes when you think it's the end and that the Lord, that everything seems to be dark, man, the Lord has another way, man. The Lord will save your children, will save your loved one, will save you. When you think it's the end, let me tell you something. The Lord will come and take you out of that. And you know what? You'll be like, man, I did not think that was going to happen. Man, I know. You know why? Because I was through that. I went through that. I was a person that I was thinking, man, this is never going to work for me. And I came into the UPK and the Lord completely changed everything for me. That's and right. The way it worked for me, it can work for you. It can work for your loved one. You just got to have that faith, brother. You just got to know that, you know what, 100% that it's going to work. You know what I'm saying? That it's going to work. Right. You know what I'm saying? No. Let me tell you something. ISUPK is the school where it's going to bring you, man. It's going to bring you whole. Let me tell you something. We're everywhere, man. No matter where you're at, there's a school near you. You just haven't really looked. I'm going to tell you a story. Before I came into the UPK, my son came into the UPK. The UPK in California had one school. It was in San Bernardino. That's a 5-hour trip on the bus and on the metro. My son was adamant about being in the UPK. He was like, man, Dad, that's the school right there. I said, son, man, go get that, man. Go out there and get what you want, man. And you know what? He did. He would take a 4 to 5 hour. He would leave at, I think it was like 2 in the afternoon and come back at 12 at night. You know what? That's love for the Lord right there. Heaven is a lot further away than the school next to you, where you can go into the class and put on that black for how many months?
90 days.
For 90 days and become a soldier in the ISUPK, that the Lord may bless you. And let me tell you something. My son, no fool, man, he took that trip every day, man. I did not take him once. He found his way there. He took that trip. He made that sacrifice. You know how far how far heaven is? Heaven is death, bro. You gotta die to go to heaven. You know what I'm saying? That's how far heaven is. Death, bro. What is a 4, 5, 3, 2 hour trip? It's nothing to find the truth. It's nothing to come to the Lord. It's nothing to be blessed, for the Lord can pour blessings on you. What is that precept? That the Lord will pour blessings on you. It's that the Lord will pour blessings on you. Isn't that what we look for? Man, they give you a job. They say, man, you're gonna, like me. I go to my job. My job is 30 minutes away, but I really do an hour and a half sometimes, 2 hours in traffic to go to my job. You know what I'm saying? So what is the truth, man? What is coming into the truth? You know, it's nothing. The Lord's going to bless you, man. The Lord's going to give you a name. The Lord's going to give you a real name. He ain't going to give you that name you got. That name you got, was the name of your master, bro. Your mom gave you that. Your dad gave you that name, and that was the name of your master. I know I had that name. My name was the name of my master. All los mexicanos in the haciendas that the españoles used to have, they used to give the name of their slaves, the name of the hacienda owner. The hacienda owner was a Spaniard. Let me tell you, hacienda equals to
Plantation.
a plantation. Mexicans, we had haciendas. Black people had plantations. So let me tell you something, man. We are there. It's the thing. It's the thing that we got to do. It's the thing that we got to realize that we're living in the time. Like all of us, man. If you're on my class right now and you're reading this, the Lord has called us people. A little while ago, you read a precept, a few of us.
Right.
Read a precept about the few of us. We're the strongest. He didn't choose us because we were the most. He chose us because we were the strongest. We're a few, but we're a strong spirit. We're a strong heart. We are those people that he has called on, men and women and children, and we're a few, but you know what? We're strong. Let me tell you something. This goes out to my Ishikarite brothers, right? Because I give out Ishikarite history all the time. The Aztecas and the Chichimeca and the Mexica, you know what? Not all of us were warriors. There were a few of us that were strong warriors. There were a few of us that were going out to die. If you didn't see my last week's, it was the Eagle Warriors and the Jaguar Warriors. We went to those schools, nos internaban. That means we went there, we were away from our parents, they put us in the schools, and we earned that suit, the Eagle suit. We earned that suit, the Jaguar suit. But let me tell you, when you earned that suit, it was death for sure. It was a few of us that earned that through strength, through honor, through the glory of that school. And not everybody would go through that. Not everybody was made for that. It was an honor to go through that school. It was an honor to earn that suit. It was an honor to put that headpiece on of the eagle. When you see that on my Judite brothers, when you see that Mexican with the eagle, that's actually an honor right there. That poster that you're looking at was an honored Aztec Indian who wore that. When you see the Jaguar guy with the Jaguar suit and the Jaguar, man, he had high honors. Those are people that walked around that city of Tenochtitlan, and people looked at them like, wow, I want to grow up to be like that. You know what I mean? And that's what it is in the ISUPK. When you go into the Hebrew Academy, let me tell you something. Hebrew Academy is not for everybody. Hebrew Academy is for those that are ready to put on that jacket, that suit, that honor, that, man, I'm going to go through this. I'm going to go through this test. I'm going to go through this, and, man, I'm going to make it. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it's at. Let me tell you something. There is only one. You know, in the Aztec Kingdom, you didn't go to that school and then go start your own Jaguar organization or go in that school and start your own Eagle organization. Let me tell you something. Judas Maccabees, his sons did not go start their own organizations. His followers, his people that were in his group did not go and start their own little clubs. No way, man. Let me tell you something. The Lord chose Judas Maccabees to lead his people. He chose his sons to lead his people. Let me tell you something. In the times of Judas Maccabees, there was other little camps, little organizations that were springing up here and there. But if you haven't read that, I'll tell you, they were put to death.
Right.
Because you know why? The Lord comes down and chooses one people and chooses one organization. And those are his people. Not multiple, not here, not there. There was only been one. 1969, the original, the one that started it all, the ISUPK. Who are you going to be? You're going to be a knockoff? You're going to be a wannabe? You're going to be a second? No way, man. You're going to come in and you're going to be an OG. You're going to serve the Lord in the original school that he started. You're going to come down and you're going to be like, man, this is the one that started it. This is where I'm going to start. This is where I'm going to be. This is where I'm going to stay. Because this is the one that started it all. That's what it is. Let me tell you something. When you hear like rap music, right? Like when you hear, let me see who I know, because I'm from the West Coast, right? So when you hear, well, what's that? More Bounce to the Ounce? Who did that? So when you hear some music and then you hear a sample, right? You're hearing a music, you're hearing a sample, but you hear that sample and you're like, Zapp and Roger, right? When you hear Zapp, right? You're hearing Zapp, you're like, woo, yeah, that's Zapp, brother. Woo, I'm feeling it. And then you hear somebody else do a rap song with it, right? And you hear this rap song. When you hear this rap song, you're like, damn, that's a tight-ass rap song. But I know that beat. Oh, I know that beat. That's Zapp and Roger. You know why you said that? Because Zapp and Roger were the original people who started that. You'll never get that out of your mind. You'll always be like, I like that rap song, but damn, that's Zapp and Roger. You know what I'm saying? That's the OGs right there. That's the one that started it all. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it works. You can be this, or you can be the real. You know what I'm saying? In the ISUPK, this is where it comes real. This is where it starts. This is where it's at. This is the original house of where everything else sprung out of. Everything else is just an imitation. Everything else is just a knockoff. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got to come to where it's at. Why? Because let me tell you something. When I see my brothers and I talk to them and they talk to me, I want to hear them say, "Oh, brother, I'm in the ISUPK," because what comes out of me is, "Wow, man, you an OG, brother." Yeah, you know, that's love right there. That's where it's at. That's a real brother right there. When I see some of my brothers in the world and I ask them, "Hey, brother, what clique were you from?" and they give me the right answer, I'm like, "Damn, brother, yeah, that's right. This brother is an OG." You know what I'm saying? I can never settle for less. I cannot settle. It's like saying rock and roll was invented by the white man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How the hell are you going to say rock and roll was invented by the white man? Or how are you going to go listen to jazz from a white man? Come on now. How is barbecue chicken going to be made by white people? They got no flavor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What does it say? Judah or salt of the earth. Ain't that what it is?
Right.
Man, ISGPK is the salt. It gave flavor to what Israel is today. Everybody else is just coming around and just coming up with stuff that's just not them. You know what I'm saying? Me as an Ishikarite, man, let me tell you, a lot of people don't know this, but Mexico has two histories. It's got what's called post and pre-Columbian. Post-Columbian is all the writings of the Aztec Indian, the Mayan, the Chichimeca, the Popol Vuh, and other writings. Pre-Columbian is that. Post-Columbian is the writings of Bernal Diaz, who else? Bartolomé de las Casas, Diego Duran. These are people who wrote after the conquest. After the conquest, what you're seeing is a lot of writings that are just not the writings. For a lot of you on there right now, a lot of my brothers and sisters that I see them on my Facebook all the time. I didn't mention this, but I'm going to bring it up. The other day, I posted up mole. If all y'all saw that, you can put up a thumbs up. My wife made mole or moli, right? So when you read the history of mole, right, there's two stories of mole. One story is that the ancient Indian, when I'm trying to think of the name of that conquistador that went there, and he wrote that the native Indians were bringing chickens and boiling them with a sauce called moli. Moli was the red sauce that they were making the mole with. That's why it's called mole today, because it was called moli back then. So they were making the sauce with the mole and making chicken mole and all that. And he wrote that story, right? He wrote that story. But then there's another story. There's a story that says that there was some nuns that were going to be visited by a Catholic priest that was coming from Spain, and that a saint visited them and gave them that recipe for them to make mole. And they got that recipe from a spirit or a saint that had visited them. And those nuns got together and they put this together and made what is known as mole today. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? What kind of nonsense is that? You know, that's the difference between the real and the fake. You know what I'm saying? That's right. Rana, chocolate and chilis. So this is the story. The story, one story tells about the ancient Aztec or the ancient, Nahual Indian, and the other one tells a story of nuns from Spain inventing this mole through a spirit that came and gave them the recipe. You know what? That's nonsense. We know that the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks us, and all he does is tell lies. You know what I'm saying? And like that, there's a lot of lies out there that are making the native Hispanic Indian look as if the Spaniards did everything and are taking credit for everything, just the way the white man takes credit for everything the black man has done, everything the black man has invented, everything that the black man has created, the white man has taken credit for. And let's face it, it's nothing but lies. You know what I'm saying? So we know where the truth is coming from. The truth is coming from one source, the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. That's where it's coming from. That's who we are. That's the way we do it. So for everybody out there, you know what? Don't get it twisted. There's only one truth, ISUPK, since 1969. Man, 10:30. It's time to get out of here. I want to thank everybody for joining. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and participating in our class. You know what I'm saying? Most High in Christ, I want to thank everybody. Rana, Astar, right? Is that it? Astar? Mariam, yeah, definitely, you know, Bath for joining in, always, you know. Daryl, you know, thanks for tuning in, bro. No disrespect to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Stay on our classes. Log in, isupk.com. Make sure you click on me and, you know, become my friend on the Facebook, brother. I no disrespect to you. You know, Most High in Christ for tuning in. Just asking a question, bro. That's you know, that's great in itself. You know what I mean? So stay tuned. Kalaya, you know, everybody out there, watch this video again from the very beginning. We had some interesting points. We had some great points here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and staying with us. Once again, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shad Baruch Atah to everybody. Most High in Christ, have a great week. We're back next week on Wednesday. Stay tuned for us. For now, shalom, everybody. Shalom.